Hi everybody, how are we going today? I've got Jamie and Jack with us. Hopefully my internet will hold up okay for this sort of 5 or 10 minute preview. Jamie, you mentioned to me earlier that of course it's unfortunate that this is going to be a dead rubber. But I still think, as we saw with the Rafa and the Ruud match yesterday, I still think there's something to look forward to, and I think maybe for Medvedev in particular, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what was it? It was kind of not even 48 hours ago, was it, when he sort of come off court having lost to Tsitsipas. So I think, yeah, there's going to be some motivation for Medvedev, to sort of try and at least kind of leave the tournament with a win, obviously, as Rafa did yesterday. I also think for Djokovic as well, the extra ranking points that come with being an undefeated champion. Also provides some motivation for him as well. So, yeah, I think, it's a shame. Obviously, there's nothing on the line in terms of who's going through. But still, whenever these two play, I think it's always going to be interesting. It's always going to be a fun match.
Do you think it's important for Medvedev as well, Jack? I mean, to sort of finish what's been a possibly disappointing season on a high?
Knowing the two players, and by the way, Jamie, nice to talk to you for the first time.
You too,
Knowing Medvedev and Djokovic, I actually think the motivation levels are going to be firmly in the Novak camp rather than the Daniil camp. Medvedev sometimes can look a little bit despondent on court. He can look a little bit lackluster. When there's not much on the line, it feels like it's Djokovic that can find the internal motivation a bit more than Medvedev, particularly when he's been out for most of the season, right? And he's still got that chip in his shoulder, trying to prove something to the rest of the tennis world. So it feels like Djokovic is going to have the lion's share of the motivation here.
Yeah, I was also thinking, as Jamie was talking about the ranking points as well, that of course this is pretty much, or is the last, I think, ranking points tournament available, because Davis Cup has no ranking points. Am I right, Jack?
I don't know. I don't think it does. It doesn't.
I don't think it does.
I don't think so. And even if it does, it's not going to be moving and shaking people too much around the tour. So in terms of rankings, at least. So of course, by the end of this tournament, with assuming everyone is fit going to Australia, we'll know kind of where people are at. We'll know if there's a good chance of Novak and Rafa falling in the same side of the draw. In fact, I think we already know that because they're not going to finish the year 1 and 2. But it will make a difference. I mean, if Djokovic is in the 5 to 8 bracket, he could be coming up against Alcaraz in the quarterfinal or something like that. So I know I'm looking ahead and ifs, buts, and maybes, but I do think every single point and every single match, maybe for Djokovic, bearing in mind he's missed half of the year to some extent, does matter. But I also think that Novak does have a thing where he could possibly switch off in that he's obviously got a match coming up tomorrow. But I see where you're coming from, Jack. Jamie, did you catch last night's match between Taylor Fritz and Felix?
I saw some of it. I saw sort of the end of the first set. Didn't see much of it after that. But I have to say, I was surprised to see the score in the third set. How easily kind of Fritz won that, particularly having seen Felix won the third set breaker. Would have thought at that point that Felix would have, stepped on the gas and possibly taken it, or at least, it would have been a really tight third set. So I was really surprised to see Fritz come through that 6-2.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I saw bits and pieces as well as I was listening to the channel as well. I think there was a bit of a surprise how that third set panned out. Jack, has it been a disappointing tournament for Felix? It was just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, you and I were chatting on your podcast On the Line about, Felix is up there with Djokovic among the favourites for this tournament.
Yeah, I think we call him second favourite, right? It's definitely been a disappointment for sure. There's just something, a little spark has kind of gone missing after Paris, right? When Holger beat him fairly comfortably. He looked a little fatigued there. I don't think it's been fatigue here, to be honest. I definitely think he came out a bit flat in his first match. The Nadal match was kind of expected. He certainly was the better indoor player for the entirety of the year. And then the last match, again, just a little bit flat. I mean, Taylor didn't have a ton of matchup advantages against him. Felix should have been able to rattle through service games. And then that third set just ran away from him. So undoubtedly a disappointment. But you sense Taylor Fritz's chances. Okay, he could get to the ATP finals for the next 10 years coming. But at the same time, we don't know for sure he's definitely going to be in the top 10. Felix, he's going to have a ton more chances. definitely,
Yeah.
that definitely feels more cemented. So
I think kind of what surprised me was that before the match, I was just suggesting that if Felix plays his best and Taylor plays his best, bearing in mind what we've seen in the last 3 months, I just thought this is Felix's to lose. Arguably, should we shine some praise though, Jack, as well on Taylor?
absolutely, yeah, definitely. There's two things he's improved this year. The backhand, particularly in the latter half of the year, has been a weapon, but the movement as of the end of last year has been insanely good. In these conditions, he makes himself incredibly difficult to beat, and only really somebody that can take advantage of his second serves frequently, in the case of Novak and Daniil, are the kind of players that can beat him without a proper struggle in these conditions. So it's anybody's game, or it's against anybody for Taylor. It's he could beat anybody basically, bar those two sort of matchups.
Jack, what about this matchup today between Medvedev and Djokovic? We've seen some classic encounters, intriguing encounters. I mean, Paris-Bercy last year, the final springs to mind. Their clash, of course, in Astana as well, which, of course, Medvedev sadly had to pull out injured. I still think there was a lot of intrigue for various reasons in that US Open final, even if it was straight sets for Medvedev. We had a straight sets win, of course, for Novak in Australia. Tell me your thoughts on the matchup between these two, and who do you fancy to win today?
This matchup is probably right up there with like the top three matchups for me in men's tennis. Maybe Novak and Rafa up there as well. Maybe top two, because it's such an interesting matchup. Anytime they're playing, dead rubber or otherwise, I'm watching it because it's incredibly exciting. I will give you an idea of their previous encounters. When the court's a little bit slower, it actually tends to fall in Daniil's favour because he can kind of put up that wall. All of a sudden, it's like you think of Novak as one of the steadiest players in the game, but because Medvedev has just got that little bit extra on the backhand in terms of rally temperament, the slower the conditions, the tougher it becomes for Novak to hit through Daniil. So on a slow hard court, you actually would say advantage Medvedev, bar an insane serving volley performance like Paris-Bercy last year. Because the conditions are a lot faster, it probably suits Novak when Daniil hasn't been serving at his best for the whole season. We saw 2020 ATP finals when the conditions were fairly fast, but that was one of Daniil's best serving years by far. He didn't lose serve in that match. It was 6-3, 6-3, I believe, to Daniil. It was fairly comfortable. While Daniil's serve is a little bit shakier, the faster the conditions, the more it suits Djokovic for me. So I'm going to give the advantage to Djokovic here without motivation as well. Honestly, I'm seeing straight sets to Novak.
Yeah, given your analysis there, it does sound pretty ominous for Medvedev. Jamie, any standout matches or moments between these two, or memories of their clashes particularly in the last couple of years? And I want a prediction. And I've got a three-pronged attack. Sorry for you, Jamie. And I also want you to give me some words on Medvedev since Love 40 at about 9 a.m. UK time in January. Love 40 Love 40 up against Nadal. Do you know what I mean? That moment where basically Medvedev's season fell apart. I don't know. You tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so where should I start? Let's start with today. I think it's going to be interesting, as sort of Jack was saying, the faster court, and I think we saw Djokovic sort of serve and volley, didn't we, against Medvedev in Paris last year. We also saw Tsitsipas do that a lot, very successfully as well against Medvedev the other day. So going to be interesting to see if Djokovic employs that tactic today. I think he probably will. In terms of a prediction, I mean, I think, even if this was a match, say, where there was something really riding on it, I think you'd still be sort of favouring Djokovic, particularly now that Medvedev is out. You'd have to go for Djokovic, but there is also thinking that if it gets tight, if Medvedev is dialed in, then, is Djokovic going to be really extending himself in longer rallies as he would do if there was something riding on it? Potentially not. So, I think that a bit of a sort of caveat there to the thinking that Djokovic might win quite easily. Going back to January, I'm wearing I don't know if you can see what I'm wearing today, but
Okay.
I'm a day late. Well, Rafa obviously played yesterday, but that was that was obviously incredible. I think me and you were on the phone, John, after that match, both quite emotional.
Yeah.
It does seem as though Medvedev's season has really turned since then. Who knows what would have happened had he come through that match? But I think we're just about to start, aren't we?
We are as well. I've just got the head-to-head up there on the screen. But yeah, we are about to start. So I tell you what, I will let you guys go. I'll leave you with this head-to-head as well. Just one more thing, actually. I didn't realize they played 11 times. And it's an intriguing, number. It's quite close, if you like, 7-4, sort of 2 out of 3 that Djokovic seems to win, but certainly more competitive than most of Djokovic's matchups. Anyway, listen, I'm going to head out. I'll speak to you at the end of the match.
Cheers, John.
Cheers, John. Yeah, just to elaborate on that head-to-head a bit, Jamie.
Yeah.
You take into account the first 2 meetings they had in 2017. You could maybe write that off as Daniil, still up and coming. In the last 3 years, it's been 5-4 to Novak, which is obviously far closer. I mean, it's always a close match. For me to predict straight sets, honestly, feels like not going with their normal rivalry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a difficult one to predict when it's a dead rubber like this, isn't it? Because it kind of comes down to maybe the psychology of it more than anything.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
So definitely a shame. I wouldn't have foreseen this at the start of the week that this match would have been, nothing riding on it.
Yeah. The only thing that's a spanner in the works for me is that 2020 match when Medvedev just destroyed Djokovic. I mean, by his standards, 6-3, 6-3. I don't think we've seen a more one-sided loss bar Sonego for the last. Do you remember Sonego in Vienna? It was like 2-1 when Novak had secured year-end number 1, I think, or something like that. So all motivation was gone. Bar that loss, that was probably the most one-sided loss I've seen from Novak in the last 3 years. And as we see Djokovic spray a forehand wide, by the way.
Having said that, I mean, I guess the US final was pretty one-sided, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, you got to take into account external factors there, right, Jamie? That was pretty psychological. Novak's ground game pretty much gone with the nerves of the occasion, trying to get all 4 right.
Yeah.
So you probably got to chalk it a little bit down to that. We saw Djokovic serving volleying a lot that day when there wasn't really grounds to, because Daniil was just completely locked in, really was playing like a slam champion. Extended rallies had to be played and Djokovic's legs just stopped working, basically. We take a dick out that match, fair enough. I still would say that there's extenuating factors there. The ATP finals one is probably the one spanner in the works for me. I would say, honestly, Djokovic is looking better than he was 2 years ago on a faster court. You see how he's not improved at Wimbledon, but how he's sort of, cemented his dominance there over the last 4 years. It just looks like nobody can touch him there now, and that's got to be some of the fastest conditions, some of the lowest bouncing conditions on the tour. So I just think he's so good at mopping up on short balls. He's so good at keeping extended rallies shorter if he wants to, with better offense than he used to have pre sort of 2015 or so. Anyway, loads of factors. I just think Djokovic for me.
I think John's saying there he remembers Novak punching his leg in that US Open final. He was so tight and heavy legged. Absolutely, yeah. And it kind of just goes to show, doesn't it? I think it was Jeffro making the point in the show on Wednesday night actually as well, that we talk about sort of history and tennis history, and I guess there's actually there's a reason why these things are so hard to do. The sort of calendar slam, it's just see this point out.
There's a great rally there, yeah.
Brilliant point from one by Medvedev. But there's a reason why these things haven't been done, because they're so bloody difficult. Of course, Rod Laver's the last person to do the calendar slam, isn't it? And he was certainly kind of weighed down by the weight of history that day. I just really would like them to get both play a slam final where they're both kind of at their best, so playing their best at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, good point. The Australian Open final was a bit of a letdown. The US Open final was a bit of a letdown. You're quite right. We need to see a proper grueling 5-setter between the two, right? Already seeing a couple of net approaches, by the way, from Djokovic, which is interesting because for me, Novak comes to the net against Medvedev when he feels like he has to do something different. Like in Paris, when the slower conditions maybe benefit Medvedev, he felt like he had to come forward to finish off the points quickly, right? Serving volley's always been a good tactic against Medvedev. Deep return position. You can get him out wide and then drop it short to exploit that deep return position. Nonetheless, it's not Novak's go-to, obviously. He has it in his arsenal because he's such a great and accomplished net player as of the last sort of 3 or 4 years. But yeah, he would prefer to rally from the back of the court. So if we see him keep coming to the net, maybe also it points to what you were saying, Jamie, that he just wants to conserve energy and win or lose one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
That's a hold for Djokovic, by the way, to get on the board there. Fairly difficult game there, actually. Had to come up with a few different things. A slice approach as well, not going his way. That was one of the most interesting things for me because a slice nowadays, it used to work so well against Medvedev because of the flatness of his backhand, couldn't get underneath the ball. However, nowadays, it's like he's practiced countering that slice so often, so much, obviously, with Gilles Savara. It's just not as beneficial a tactic against him. He seems to get underneath the ball so well. So yeah, basically looking at Djokovic mixing things up and kind of not succeeding already is ominous signs.
Absolutely, yeah, that's good points. It was as you say, quite a tight game. 5 minutes, wasn't it? So it's that's not what Djokovic is going to want much of that before the semi-finals on Saturday.
Yeah. Can you recall any time that Djokovic has played a dead rubber at the ATP finals?
Oh, good question. I
I can't.
Yeah, nothing's springing to mind.
I might look up his record. I'll look up his record in the last few years anyway. It's not normally the group stages where you get, in fact, how often does he not get through the group stages? I imagine very, very rarely. However, obviously, the main stat for a lot of people is that Djokovic hasn't won the ATP final since 2015, right? 7 years.
Wow. Yeah,
So
I know that's yeah. And he'd won it 4 years in a row, hadn't he, prior to that? So he was kind of the O2 was his playground, and then I don't know what happened.
And Andy Murray came along, Jamie, and beat him in the final.
Yeah, good memories of that. That was I'm a big Andy Murray fan. That was probably my favourite year watching tennis, actually, for obvious reasons. End of 2016.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? Just a few months of couldn't be beaten tennis, basically. It was incredible.
Exactly. It was almost a case of kind of like, well, this is what we've been saying, the last 5-6 years. What if the big three weren't around? What would Murray be doing? And then we saw what he would be doing. He'd be sort of dominating and kind of, sweeping all before him. But then, unfortunately, the injuries came along.
Yeah. I'm just looking at this now. So the last year, Djokovic made the semis. The year before semis, 2018 final, 2016 final. So bar 2019 when he didn't get through the round robin, he's made it to the semis or final every other year, basically.
Okay. I guess there could still be a dead rubber or two in there, couldn't there? But I can't remember one.
I'm looking at it. I don't think so. I don't. He lost to Roger in 2019, and he lost to Team in 2019. But neither of those would have been dead rubbers.
No. Okay, and so he's been into match Roger Federer's 6 titles, isn't he, Djokovic? Here as well. Of course, I'm aware of it. Djokovic said making history in this sport is always a big motivational factor for me. Yeah,
he's been aware of it the last 7 appearances, obviously, hasn't he? So I still don't think it affects him too much. Just, I've got to go through a couple of his losses because I think that's quite important to know what kind of a performance generally beats Djokovic at the ATP finals. Zverev was his last loss. Team, as well, has beaten him twice over the years. Zverev, another loss, and then Federer too. All of these players can be super aggressive. Zverev sometimes kind of have a tendency to sit back. But it was actually his backhand that won him that match last year at least. And then Team, obviously, I mean, the 2 team losses were third set tie breaks, and they were 2 of the best matches of the last few years at the ATP finals. I'm sure you'll remember that.
Yeah.
And then Medvedev is that one bizarre match, the 6-3, 6-3 one, that sticks out like a sore thumb because it's a different kind of matchup for him.
Yeah,
Seeing Djokovic get into the net again, by the way, to get to juice.
lovely volley that was.
Yeah, just saving another advantage point. I wonder, I was just saying he'll come to the net to mix things up, but I am starting to now think he's coming to the net to just shorten the points and get through this game, because I think fatigue could end up being a factor if this gets drawn out. Medvedev loves the match to go on as long as possible, right?
Exactly, absolutely, yeah. I think for Djokovic, as much as he would like the extra ranking points to come through unbeaten, I think he would, what he's thinking about mainly is lifting that title on Sunday, right, and matching Federer's record. So he's not going to want anything that happens today to potentially scupper those chances.
I'm sorry, I don't have this information, Jamie, but if Djokovic does lose this, does he go to number 2 in the round robin qualifiers, basically?
I'm not sure. I guess does it also depend on what happens later a bit as well?
Yeah, potentially.
Because if Djokovic loses, he'll be on obviously 2 wins, won't he? Whoever wins later will be on 2 wins.
There we go. There's the information there. Djokovic has sealed the group.
Okay. So
it really is as dead can be.
We were just trying to get some kind of drama in, John, but it would have been fake drama anyway.
Daniil with a great serve, by the way. I'll just let you know if he seals this game. Great serve down the tee. Oh, no, never mind. First serve was out. So second serve here. He's got a second serve to the Djokovic forehand. Went big there. Here we go. Ooh. I think we did just have a comment there a second ago. Maybe Daniil will play bigger without pressure. We'll probably see a lot of plays like that where he just booms down a 200km/h second serve, I'd imagine, right? Oh, yeah. He double faulted. Sorry, Jamie. I thought he'd made that. Actually, he did double fault in that huge second serve.
Double fault, yeah. I think we will be seeing quite a bit of that though as well today, which I guess is also quite, when maybe one of the fun things about having a dead rubber. You sort of maybe will see more things like that you'd see less of.
Yeah. Oh no, there we go. Daniil just checking for the mark there, just seeing if it went in or not.
That looked well long.
I thought that too, yeah. Going for another pretty big kicker, yeah. Djokovic able to control it. Daniil goes for the drop shot. Drop shot was massive. It was massive in Astana when they last played the best unfinished match of the last 20 years for me.
Right.
it was so good. Obviously, the drama, the level, and then unfortunately Medvedev had to retire with that injury in the second set after the second set tiebreak. But the drop shot was huge there. Daniil trading 50-shot rallies, whatever. Not quite that, but. And then ending the point with drop shots. A lot of the time, Medvedev fans will rue the Medvedev drop shot, right? But against Djokovic, it's a good play.
Yeah, as you say, it was working sort of well that day. A shout out for the Alcaraz-Rune match as well a couple of weeks ago. That was potentially shaping up to be a great match that ended prematurely.
Yeah, I know. I was gutted about that one as well. Yeah, I mean it wasn't quite the quality of Medvedev Djokovic. If we had a big list of unfinished matches and the best ones of the last 20 years, then maybe I could decide. But
yeah. I was at one in Australia in 2018. Rafa against Cilic. And that was that was unfinished.
Did that finish in the fifth set, right?
That finished in the fifth set. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rafa pulled out. What's John saying there? Jamie's just saying that because he was commentating with Jeffro. That's referring to the Alcaraz-Rune match.
They were drop shotting loads because it was such a slow court, right? That's right, Ghibli, yeah. But it almost felt like because they were both playing them about as frequently as the other, but because the conditions suited Medvedev more, it almost looked like the drop shot wasn't a shot of desperation for him, and it sort of was for Djokovic. But again, with Djokovic, his execution and his ability to vary his tactics kind of meant it was still a good play for him, and it made a big difference in the end. Almost anything Djokovic tries nowadays, it's so commendable because there's very few players that could just take up serve and volley as a go-to tactic this late in their careers. Like, he barely, prior to 2019, I don't think he'd played a match where he'd pretty much served and volleyed every other point. Obviously, you think about the Paris one, he was in at the net literally 50% of the time off the back of his serve. In fact, I can't think of another example of a player who executed it that well, having not done so earlier on in the career.
It's incredible, isn't it? How kind of adaptable he is. I mean, how adaptable all of the kind of big three have been, really. As well. You think of kind of Federer adjusting his backhand so late on in his career, as you say, Djokovic with the sort of serve and volley coming to the net. It's just such a standout era, isn't it?
Yeah, and the serve as well itself, Jamie. I could talk about that for days. Djokovic's serve over the last 3 or 4 years on the back of Ivanisevic's, tips, I guess. That's gotten so much better. That's one of the reasons he can execute serve and volley so well. He goes into his opponent's forehand, particularly on the ad court, as we're maybe just about to see, better than nearly any other player. His slider's so good. He can do it on second serve as well. Very few players can pull off a slider on second serve as well as him. In fact, I would argue it's one of the best ones on tour for a non-lefty. I think Rafa's probably is a bit better, given he's a lefty and it shoots away from the player, of course. But yeah, definitely. I mean, there's just so much you can say about Novak's serve. It still goes underrated as one of the better shots on tour, but it's right up there. It's so precise. Similar to Federer's in so many ways. You've got a guy 6'1", 6'2" in stature, slamming down aces every other point. It's just nobody does it better on tour at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So an easy hold there for Nole. So he's up 2-1. 16 minutes. I mean, it's a lot for 3 games, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it was quite interesting there. I was going to say Djokovic's first service game was just over 5 minutes with 1 juice, and I think Medvedev's was just over 6 minutes with like 4 juices. So, always gives you an idea. We were watching Medvedev's match the other day, actually, me and my family, and who's Medvedev against? Tsitsipas, probably the match of the tournament so far, of course. And just like, slow down. What are you doing? It's like when it's working for him, you're like, oh, keep going, go as fast as you can. It's annoying the other player. But as soon as you see him like fritting away a game, at 5-4 in the third set, you're like, why are you not slowing down, Daniil? Oh my God. He plays at some pace.
You just wanted him to, when he was serving for the match the other night, you just wanted him, as you say, to like slow down, take a deep breath, compose yourself, regain something. But yeah.
That's a nice. I was going to say that's a nice segue, actually, because that 5-4 game that Tsitsipas lost, that Medvedev lost against Tsitsipas, I should say, when he failed to serve out the match, there was a couple of missed serve plus ones, and a lot of the reason that people think maybe Daniil's better on a faster court is because of his serve, but in reality, he's one of the worst serve plus oneers on the tour because he's not very good at that first shot after the serve, right? The forehand, or sometimes he lets it go to the backhand when he's being a little bit lazy. The forehand, obviously, not as great as other players. So actually, in faster courts, sometimes when he's not feeling it, he can look a little ropey. And he missed 2 serve plus ones against Tsitsipas in that final game, which is just unforgivable, obviously, at that stage in the match. So
I feel like, sorry. And I was going to say, I feel like that happened a lot at the start of the match as well, and that kind of handed the initiative over to Tsitsipas right at the very start. In the first set, he was missing a lot of forehands off the serve. Yeah.
I mean, he does that. That's happened for periods throughout this year in general. His biggest stat drop this year has been on serve rather than on breaks. You'd expect his serving to kind of stay as steady as it has been the last 3 years, but actually it's dropped by a fair bit, particularly on break points. So he's just not playing as patiently. He's missing a lot more first serves than he used to. Double faults have been a pretty big problem for him this year, right? We saw it against Tsitsipas in Cincinnati as well, when he threw in 4 in one game. That ended up being the crucial break. It's been a ropey year for Daniil. There's not really been much to salvage. Even a win here wouldn't be much of a what's going on here. Can you see this, Jamie?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, they're having a laugh and a joke about it.
Nice to see an exhibition match between these two.
Yeah. Is it? I'm not actually sure what's happened here.
I haven't got a clue. I saw Daniil win the point outright with a drop shot, and then seemingly there must have been some sort of call halfway through because he didn't get the point. I think they're playing it again.
Right, yeah. There was a point the other day, I think, when someone I can't remember who it was lining up to serve, and then all of a sudden the background music came on.
For the ATP finals, oh my God.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
almost a bit of a chaos factor, isn't it, around this tournament?
yeah, that's poor. Daniil, though, he's had his moments this year where he's gone off the rails a little bit in terms of temperament, but I can't imagine when it's a dead rubber he'll be anything but a little bit jovial, a little bit. Yeah, there you go. He's having a laugh again.
Oh, this is great, isn't it? This is exactly what we wanted to see today.
Yeah, I like to see them joking around with each other.
Yeah.
Again, it's funny this rivalry, because obviously it's one of the closest on tour that, you know, they're probably the best two hardcourt players in the world. Sorry, Alcaraz, but I would still say these two take the spot at their best, and they're so friendly off court in such a. Obviously, you get Medvedev, Tsitsipas, right, and the two of them are at each other's throats basically. But these two are just like, yeah, obviously Medvedev's got a lot of respect for Respect. Everybody talks about respect for Djokovic, but yeah, he's got a lot of respect for Djokovic. I think he was very, you know, friendly to him as they grew up. You know, he was helpful to him, letting practice with him and stuff like that. Sort of respected how good he was. Oh, there's Holger Rune in the crowd.
There's Holger
watching on. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get a chance to play now, Holger, unfortunately, unless we have a very, very last minute.
No, it would have been nice if one of these two could have sort of let him in, have a game.
I know, yeah. That would have been good. A Novak Holger rematch up actually would have been really good, because I don't think Djokovic played his best game in Paris. In the final, of course. Do you remember that?
In the final, of course, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And of course, the first time I saw Rune was when he played Novak back in, was it end of last year?
Must have only been the end of last year, yeah, in the US Open.
New York, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was a great match. Yeah, that was really good. There was proper like flashes of brilliance there. I kind of chalked it down to just a dip from Novak at first, but then actually watching back the match, Holger was just as good as he is now, just with less consistency. He really is a special hardcourt player.
Absolutely, yeah. John Sain, do you remember in New York when Medvedev got lucky when there was a let call after music was playing? I can't remember that actually. Can you, Jack?
In the final?
Must have been in the final. I think he's referring to. Yeah, last year.
That kind of rings a bell. Yeah, it does sort of ring a bell.
Okay.
I've still not got any clue what's happened here. Maybe the producer can tell us exactly what's going on. Maybe there was some music playing or something like that.
Yeah. In the final, John's saying, yeah. So, apparently, someone else was saying on the comments that maybe it was something to do with the advertising hoardings changing. Here you go. He's having a moan again, Medvedev.
My favorite. This is a pretty open question, Jamie. So you can have a little time to think about it. But what's been your favorite Daniil meltdown over the years? my favorite by far is Small Cat in Australia with Tsitsipas in the semis. That was so funny.
Small Cat, yeah. What happened there again?
So they were playing the semi-final, him and Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas's dad was giving him a lot of coaching. Medvedev went mental at the umpire and walked off court calling him a small cat, and the tennis world was left for 5 or 10 minutes or so scratching their head like, what a weird translation error, until everyone was like, oh, small cat, obviously. Yeah, I won't say it on air. I'm sure people can piece it together if they want to, but yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, there's been some classic ones. He had a good breakdown against Rublev last year as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Volley from Medvedev, which was a good one. That one sticks out.
That was the camera issue, wasn't it? Medvedev fell into the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
interesting about serve volley with Daniil here, Jamie, or just coming into the net in general. Obviously, everybody knows Medvedev's net play isn't the most efficient or stellar on the tour. However, it works so well because when he pulls it out, just nobody sees it coming. The surprise factor is the tennis IQ, I guess, of when to play it is right up there with some of the best in the world. So if he was serving volleying all the time, no doubt he would lose the match. But
absolutely,
it's when he does it that's so effective.
Yeah. I guess that's similar kind of mindset or rationale for using it. The same as the underarm serve, right? As well, you know, if you're using that constantly, it would just get lapped up, wouldn't it, by the returner? But it's that surprise factor. I wonder whether we're going to see Medvedev chucking in the underarm ones today.
I can't even recall Medvedev playing an underarm serve against somebody actually. Not off the top of my head. Anyway.
He has done before. I can't remember who against, but he has done before.
I can kind of picture it, but I can't remember who it would have been against.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was against.
Yeah, we should have played Medvedev bingo for an exhibition match, right?
Absolutely. What's your sort of take on kind of Medvedev? I mean, what sort of year do you foresee him having next year? Do you think he'll sort of be back to where he was last year, or do you think kind of what we're seeing now is maybe what it's going to be more like?
Yeah, it's actually it's quite difficult. You think about the places he's the most comfortable, hard courts in general, right? And actually, he's had a pretty decent indoor hard season. He's just had the odd loss where you're scratching your head a bit, but generally, you had that run in Cincinnati, outdoors as well, and just before the indoor hard season, and that loss to Tsitsipas, he just got rattled, right? And it's times that he's being rattled in matches that's making all the difference. Like just the odd lapse in concentration, basically, where he didn't really have that last year. He looked kind of unflappable, right? And he'd power through matches. If that continues, another 2 matches to cite as well. Remember, I don't know if you saw any of the finals he had during the grass season. He had one against Hurkacz where he went mental at Gilles Savara's coach in Halle, and Gilles Savara walked out, and that ended up being 4-1 to Hurkacz. He had another 4-1 loss to Tim van Rijthoven, I think, as well, where he fell off the boil a little bit. It's just odd performances like that make me very underconfident in him, actually. And it comes back to statistically his serve, and that should be his bread and butter. That should be the shot that keeps him afloat. That's why he's so hard to play, because he's so hard to break, and then he gives himself a chance in every return game. But if he's not holding every other game, then I just don't have much confidence in him at all, Jerry.
Absolutely, yes. You say there's been absolute kind of glimpses, or more than glimpses, hasn't there, of his best tennis? But as you say, there's been these moments where he's just kind of had almost a bit of a breakdown on court. I think it has been a really difficult year for him, actually, in terms of, I think the defeat to Rafa at the start of the year would have been something very difficult to bounce back from psychologically, actually, as well. I guess it can always be different as well, when you're kind of, when you are a slam champion compared to when you're sort of chasing your first one, I guess, as well. Sometimes we do see a bit of a letdown from players after that. But and also as well, I guess the sort of war in Russia as well. I think that must be having an impact on him as well, because he's not, he's not representing his country anymore, essentially, is he? He's just kind of out there for himself, and it's a different mindset. I think probably all of those things have played a part, and I'm hoping to see a better, more improved Medi next year.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, obviously, and I would say, to give Daniil a bit of credit, I've had him dead in the water before, and then 2020 indoor hard court season came around, and he beat like 3 top 10 players in Paris, 5 top 10 players at the ATP finals, 2 top 10 players in Australia, went on a streak of like 8 top 10 wins before losing to Novak. You can turn it on, and sometimes he likes being the underdog, to be honest. So obviously, we've seen how he reacts to crowds, fighting against him. So he probably feeds off it a little bit. So I can't, like Rafa, I can't really rule him out in any situation. He could just turn it on. There we go. There's small cat ranting.
Amazing.
Love it. One of the moments of the year, honestly. It was so good. Interesting question from the producer there. Rafa seems to like the matchup more with Medi than Novak. Do you know it's closer than people give Medvedev credit for? I think they're 5-1 or something to Rafa, but everybody knows how close the matches have been. It can depend on the conditions. I think we saw in Acapulco the most one-sided match they've had together, and Rafa just even at 6-3, 6-3 had to save like 12 break points or something like that before he got through comfortably, and he probably played the best match he's played all year there. Honestly, I'd go as far as to say that, because he's just such a natural on clay on a hard court against Medvedev straight after the Australian Open final. That was an insane performance. Just coming into the net when he needed to, just so aggressive from the back of the court. It takes an incredible performance from Rafa to beat Medvedev like that. It's still very close, even backhand to forehand. It's not that easy for Rafa to go down the line. He likes to lock people in cross court with his forehand to the Medvedev backhand or to his opponent's backhand, but Medvedev can do that all day. So it's not as bad a matchup as people think it is.
Interesting, yeah. We've got a break point for Djokovic here.
So we do, yeah. I can talk through this one. Big first serve out wide from Daniil, gets pushed back by a Djokovic forehand, or backhand, I should say. But Novak misses the forehand there. Not really much excuse for that. That was a bit cheap.
Yeah, unexpected error there. So we're back to G on the Medvedev serve. So yeah, it's kind of it's a bit of a slog, isn't it? This match. It's kind of not just we're not rolling through the games. It's kind of had a lot of juices.
Novak's looked the better player so far, but there is the odd return that's just making me think he's not warmed up yet, as we see a Medvedev serve out wide getting netted by Djokovic. So we're now advantaged Medvedev. Going straight into the next one, he nails a serve down the tee, so gets through that service game unscathed. Novak's looked slightly better, but Medvedev's playing freely already. Big points, he's stepped up pretty well. I would have said that last break point there where he was pushed back behind the baseline to hit a forehand. That's the sort of point where he could have been a little bit tighter in previous matches and missed the forehand and being thrown back like that. So that was great stuff.
Yeah. And I wonder as well, I think this match is actually it's important for Medvedev, I think, isn't it? So, if he could kind of end his year with a win over Djokovic, that'll give him some confidence going into next year as well.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Jamie, because I just feel Daniil, when he wants to turn it on, he can. I think he will see this as just a chance to hit freely. Already, he's not making, or he's making more returns than he was against Rublev in his first match. He only broke Rublev once, by the way, and Rublev kind of handed him the game that he did win. That's abnormal for Daniil to break serve once in a match, obviously. And then Tsitsipas, it might have been the same, right? I think he only broke in the third set. So
he did, I think. Yeah.
So I mean, he's making more returns, which is promising. But Novak obviously so good at mopping up in the second shot. Throws in a great drop shot there, and Daniil misses an open court.
That was a big miss.
That was a bit. Is that an explanation of the small cat rant there? Medvedev double faulted on the serve, walked to the sideline and sat behind the chair umpire. Medvedev, bro, are you mad? Are you mad? For what? His father could talk every point. He was screaming that, I remember. He was absolutely screaming that. The Medvedev Tsitsipas rivalry is great. That last match just absolutely drove the point home. That was such a good match. Did you get to see any of that?
Yeah, I was commentating on it actually for this. It was
oh, were you? Great.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely bonkers actually, wasn't it? I think Tsitsipas played. I was really impressed with Tsitsipas. Played really well, but I mean, it was serving for the match. Of course, kind of Medvedev almost kind of, it seemed like he was dead and buried, didn't it? At some point in the match, and he kind of came back. But it was a very. There weren't many points, I would say, where both players were sort of playing well at the same time. Potentially, it was sort of quite up and down. I mean, mainly,
the second set tiebreak sticks out, right, Jamie? I think that was. They were both playing incredibly well then, and there was that amazing match point save from Medvedev with like 3 overheads in a row or something. Somehow Tsitsipas got the racket on it. That was great.
When he was retrieving the smashes, that was incredible.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
definitely man match of the tournament so far, and I don't know if it'll get beaten with Novak. Probably. Who is Novak playing? I keep forgetting how the groups are split up. It's probably Fritz, I think, right?
So who came second? Was it Fritz?
I think it was Fritz. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be it's going to be Novak Fritz, and that's a 5-love head-to-head to Djokovic.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Djokovic winning that matchup. Even was it last year in Australia when he was struggling, when he was injured as well, and he still managed to come through. So
that was a bizarre one.
That was strange. I think that was when the crowd were kind of in, then they were out. I remember during the pandemic.
Yeah,
strange.
Yeah, it's a weird atmosphere and stuff as well, right? It was very bizarre.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shades of the. Did you get to see the Djokovic Berrettini match at the French Open last year when there was nobody in the crowd and Djokovic had that visceral celebration afterwards, just with nobody there. One of the most surreal, weirdest moments. Almost quite uncomfortable to watch. I didn't really.
Yeah. Well, they played 4 sets right in front of a crowd, and then they played a 5th set with no fans. And then was it 2 days later when Rafa was playing Novak and the French president was watching, wasn't he? And he basically advised the fans to stay.
Yeah. So,
obviously,
Jamie, I'll interject. Sorry, a break point from Medvedev there. Just I'll let the listeners know what's happening there, and then we'll continue with that train of thought. Djokovic with a second serve as well. Medvedev gets it to the backhand, runs around for a backhand, obviously. Djokovic with an aggressive forehand cross court. Medvedev can't quite get the forehand defense to bring that back into court, though. That was pretty good from Djokovic.
Nice angle there, Novak.
What were you saying there, Jamie? Sorry.
No, that's like we were saying about the French president, wasn't it? Was watching Rafa Novak and sort of ordered the fans to stay, but clearly he wasn't watching Djokovic Berrettini a couple of days before when they had to go. I mean, that would have made it even more painful, right? It was bad. It would have been bad enough if you were in the stadium and it went to a 5th set and you had to leave. You'd be pretty annoyed. And then 2 days later, when the same thing happens and they're allowed to stay, it doesn't seem quite right.
There was no way they couldn't have a crowd for that match. I think the French president appreciated the gravity of that match, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Djokovic with 2 pretty tidy points to get himself to advantage now in an extended rally. They're going cross court. Djokovic trying the slice. Medvedev nails a backhand down the line. Challenging though. It was certainly close. It looked like it could have clipped, but I'm gonna put a bet on it being a little bit of space between the ball and the line, Jim.
I think it was a bit long, yeah. John's liking my headphones, yeah. Got them on today just because my girlfriend's working downstairs, so I'm trying to keep the sound in.
Like respect there, Jamie. Oh my goodness. Well, I wasn't expecting that. You see that?
Oh wow. Well, we were right, but it wasn't. It was a bit closer than we thought.
Like 1 millimeter, Jesus. That's what I was talking about. Djokovic trying to slice against Medvedev and Medvedev almost nailing the backhand down the line. It's not a great tactic against him anymore.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about the Tsitsipas Medvedev match. You're saying is your favourite of the tournament so far. I think it's been a good tournament so far. So there's been a lot of kind of close matches, a few final set tie breaks. I remember a few years ago, I think in London, there was kind of a bit of a theme for sort of 2 or 3 years where most of the group stage matches were sort of straight sets, quite comfortable victories.
Yes, a lot of the time you could get some pretty tired players on the court, right, Jamie?
Yeah, but it's been a good tournament so far.
In the absence of Dominic Thiem, we need some epics, don't we? Dominic Thiem is the ATP Finals epic match player.
So we were talking the other night about putting a percentage on the chances of him being here next year. What would you say, Jack?
About 25%.
Okay. Yeah. I think the consensus was we went for about 30.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's flashes of him returning, right? He's had a great indoor hardcourt season. Got some really, really big scalps. Top 20 wins, and not. The hard catch one was amazing. Under pressure there, 3 match points to save and stuff. Wins like that are huge. If you can put together a performance like that twice in a row at the Australian Open, all of a sudden, he's in the semis of the first big tournament of the year, and that can be a massive stepping stone to other wins. So it's for him to put a performance together like that, I'm he could do it, but it's still a massive ask. Getting to the top 8 in the world takes something huge throughout the year. So.
Yeah, John's saying 24. Of course, he hasn't got any or very many ranking points to defend at the start of the year, which I guess should mean that he could climb the rankings quite quickly. I don't think that would make a difference for the race to Turin, though, would it? Because that would just be sort of based on the best 8 performances of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if he has a great performance at the Australian Open, he'd already be in the top 8 in the race to Turin, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting dynamics here, by the way. It does again look like Medvedev's maybe going a bit more offensive than you would expect from him, particularly in the forehand. And Djokovic having to come up with great plays to save break points there. It's been neck and neck, basically. Medvedev looking hungrier than I thought he would, for sure. So it's promising stuff here, Jamie. I should say, keeping with the theme of good matches at the ATP Finals this year.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of... this set is really hotting up. Medvedev just puts the forehand into the net.
There's one play that I do like. So the backhand's super flat and should be the shot that Medvedev struggles to get or counter the slice, basically. But slicing to the Medvedev forehand is decent because it's the racket head acceleration sometimes that Medvedev can struggle with in that side. That sometimes can be a good play. And we just saw it force an error there where the backhand barely ever has an error forced from it with the slice.
Yeah.
Great 15-all point here, by the way. Novak with a stretch backhand there. He's got a hold of the point, but Daniil with amazing forehand defense goes for the forehand down the line, but misses. So it's 15-30. A bit of pressure on the Russian serve.
That was a really nice point to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Again, both guys showing that when they're on defense, they can turn it around to offense in the flash of an eye, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what these two guys are so good at, isn't it? Just sort of that transition, as you say, from defense to attack. Probably the two best in the world, would you say, Jack?
Yeah, definitely. On a hard court for sure. Definitely. It's Daniil's just so good at using his long levers to get to balls other players don't. And then Novak is his backhand in particular, just so good at changing direction when he's running out to it. So close, unlucky there. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
One of those signature, really short angled responses to a drop shot there from Djokovic, just clipping the net.
Yeah, and he was sort of slipping and sliding about there, Djokovic, wasn't he? So he's kind of, showing he's kind of he's here to win today as well. He's not just gonna give this match up.
We're seeing some incessant slicing from Novak, but he's gone back to the topspin now. They're trading cross court. Daniil wins in these matchups. He slices to Novak. Djokovic makes the first change in direction, has Daniil on the run, and I think Medvedev's forehand.
Put that out,
yeah,
just long. I think
exactly what I was saying there. It wasn't changing offense to defense, but or changing. You don't want to change offense to defense. It wasn't changing defense to offense, I should say, but changing a neutral ball into offense from nowhere. There, Novak more likely to make the first change in direction on the backhand than Daniil.
I feel like Andy Murray sometimes used to enjoy transitioning from offense to defense.
Oh, 100%. He's right up there as well. Just as good at Novak at that for sure. There was other advantages in Novak's game that made the head-to-head a little bit lopsided.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, for sure, that's why you saw crazy rallies between the two, and I miss that actually. It's making me quite nostalgic, Jamie.
Absolutely.
It was a great head-to-head as a tennis fan.
It was. As you say, it was a shame that the outcome almost became fairly predictable when Djokovic was at his peak.
Yeah, there was a 13-match streak.
13.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
It was brutal. Yeah. Breakpoint for Djokovic here.
Here we go.
I can talk through it. Big first serve out wide, goes into the net for Medvedev. So second serve to work with for Djokovic.
Is he going to go for a big second serve, do you think? That?
No, he didn't actually. I'm surprised at that, Jamie, I got to say.
Yeah.
Backhands cross court from the two. Again, favours Medvedev, so we'll probably see Djokovic make the first change direction, unless Medvedev nets it.
Medvedev nets it.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
There's the break. No.
That's the sort of match that's the sort of shot that when Medvedev locked in, you just wouldn't see that. You definitely wouldn't see that. So that was a little bit lackluster. Maybe again talking about the motivation for the match dwindling a little bit. So yeah, 5-3 Novak.
Yeah, 5-3 Novak clan. The Novak clan are looking quite happy with that. Yeah.
Unless this is a intense game, I'll come back to it. But I have a question for you, Jamie. If you want to get the Djokovic Medvedev head-to-head in front of you, or if you can recall, have you got a favourite match between the two? Because they've obviously had a bunch of epics over the years.
Yeah, I will just get it up actually here.
I can tell you while you're looking it up, for me, it was probably the ATP Cup match that they had in 2020 when Medvedev lost the first set really easily, got breadsticked by Djokovic. Again, the conditions there, just like they are in Melbourne, really quick. In fact, the ATP Cup might be in Melbourne. But anyway, yeah, very similar conditions. And he got whitewashed. And then the second set was so nip and tuck, 7-5 to Medvedev. And the third set was a joke. Like Djokovic serving volley and every so often, 30-shot rallies, just amazing tactical variation from the two of them. This epic final game. It was a great match for sure. That's got to be it.
Yep. I think. I've just got Jack. Sorry, would you just bear with me 1 or 2 minutes? I've just got to change room, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll hold the fort while you're doing that, Jamie. Don't worry.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jack.
Crazy backhand return inside out there from Medvedev. Not like him. That was definitely going for broke to get himself back to 30-15. But how often has Novak been broken from 30-15 this year on an indoor hardcourt? I bet you it is 0, because he's not being broken that often. Talk through the rest of the service game just while we're waiting for Jamie's return. Big first serve out wide from Djokovic prompts the unreturnable, and we are at 40-15. Should close out the set. I'd love to see the stats on a 40-15 percentage of Djokovic getting broken. That's cannot even recall one off the top of my head. Big first serve from Novak out wide, but gone into the net. So second serve. Hi, Ashley.
Sorry about that.
Jamie.
Yeah, no worries. We're at 2 set points here, are we?
We are at 2 set points, yeah.
Yeah.
Just watching Novak put together a pretty good point here. Yeah. Oh, no, I thought that forced the error.
Ooh.
Oh, that was...
that was a very much kind of that looked like an exhibition shot right there coming in.
It did, I know.
It pushed it.
Very odd approach there from... Oh, no, he was forced in actually off a Medvedev slice. Very strange short forehand from Djokovic, though. Kind of just bunts it back into the court.
Yeah, he still should have made the volley, saying that.
He should have, I know, that's what I was thinking. He still had a chance. But to 40-30 now. Big first serve down the tee. Medvedev gets it back into play. Djokovic with a great backhand down the line.
Oh, classic Djokovic shot. That's a trademark, isn't it? Great way to end the set. Sorry, but I think you'd asked me before, Jack, about their favourite match. I think probably that match sort of stands out, I think, doesn't it, as a time when they were both playing the best at the same time. I mean, for sure. Yeah, in terms of kind of what match that will go down in history is obviously the Medvedev win at the US Open. I think they haven't played very much actually in the last year and a half or so, which is surprising.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, what am I seeing? We're seeing the head-to-head in front of us. I can't see any 2022 matches. They have met this year though in Astana, right? And I think that was it. Because prior to Astana, they'd only played 2 tournaments at the same time this year. And that was the French Open and one other tournament that's escaping me. But that was literally it. Just the 2 tournaments, which was absolutely bizarre.
Oh, wow. Of course. Yeah. Because there's been various factors, isn't there, playing into that.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, Djokovic missing most of the start of the year due to COVID bans. And then Daniil missing Wimbledon as well, which would have been the other slam he would have attended. It's been very, very odd. I think there was one other Masters they attended together, a clay court one, I'm pretty sure. And that was it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, well, I'm glad that Djokovic is allowed back into Australia next year. I think that's kind of what we all needed. Certainly what Craig Tiley needed.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly, I'm at the point where I like Djokovic's game so much, I'm practically a fan. But as I would say impartial, I just love watching Novak play, and I love him being in contention as the guy to beat at the Australian Open, right? So it's just good for tennis. If somebody wins at the Australian Open, it's deserved, right? I think a lot of people point the fingers at Rafa this year and stuff, saying that.
You can't do that, Jack.
I know. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. You know, you have to beat the rest of the field, and that's absolutely no. He beat Medvedev from 2 sets down in love 40, didn't he? So, he absolutely deserved it, and he played a pretty strong field as well. Like Berrettini and Shapo in the semis and quarterfinals, and that quarterfinal against Shapo went to 5 sets. You know.
Exactly.
You still got to win the tournament for the first time in 13 years. You know, he only won it the one time.
Huge. Yeah. No, I do agree with you. Though it'd be best. It's obviously always better to have the kind of the field there, you know, so that there aren't any kind of people coming in with these caveats. I think Ashley's just asking where we're from. I'm from London, Ashley. I'm currently living just between Leicester and London in the UK in a place called Market Harborough. How about you, Jack?
I'm from Glasgow, Jamie,
Glasgow.
Scotland, in sunny Scotland. Just looking outside and seeing it pouring with rain. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm avid Andy Murray fan, but I'm sure you are as well. You're not, Jamie, by the sounds of it. You said you loved 2016.
Massive, yeah, massive. He's my my tennis idol, I would say. Yeah. I've sort of followed him really closely since 2005.
Yeah, it becomes easier to be an impartial tennis commentator with him playing the way he is at the moment, barely scratching the top 50.
I know. It's a shame. Yeah, it's particularly, I guess, as there have been some moments, where you've sort of started to get a bit excited, and you've been like, oh, okay, what is he capable of? But yeah, I think it's going to be hard for him to kind of move much beyond where he is now.
There's the odd match, where he's beaten kind of top 30 players, and you thought this is looking promising, but there's just nothing close to a top 10 win, which is what he needs. Steph's been the biggest win, I think, for him this year. He beat him in Stuttgart, maybe in the quarterfinals. But Steph on grass, Andy on grass, it's a completely different. Maybe that's all he should be aiming for. A good run at Wimbledon, to be honest.
Yeah. That loss to Isner was really, really disappointing, wasn't it? I know.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, I know Isner he did play a great match, but vintage Andy Murray is not losing to John Isner. He just used to always lap up that kind of matchup, didn't he? The big server. It just used to suit his game so well.
And then all of a sudden, from 8-love to 8-1 in the head-to-head out of nowhere.
Exactly.
It's just such a shame. I was there live for that one, actually, Jamie. It was still good. It was good. It was good to watch. It's good to watch Isner serving, and the comeback in the third set and stuff was really, really exciting. But yeah, it was overall very disappointing and exhausting.
Yeah, I can imagine. God, yeah.
Oh. While we're at the sort of lull in the second set, Jamie, could you just give me a second? I'm going to have a very quick toilet break.
Yes,
go through the points or something like that. Just give me a second, Jamie.
Go for it, Jack. Yeah. Ashley saying that she lives. So I'm not sure, Ashley, if it's he or a she, but you live in Nottingham, and that's not too far from Market Harbour, actually. Ghibli saying I'm part of the Hackney crew, but to be Market Harbour and Nottingham are part of the same part of the world. But that's my ignorance of the East Midlands. Glasgow's a good place to watch tennis. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, both sort of. Both East Midlands, I believe. Yeah, I've not been in Market Harbour for too long, so I'm still kind of adjusting to kind of where everything is. But I know that Nottingham is pretty close. So yeah, Glasgow's a good place to watch tennis. Absolutely. Yeah, just had the Billie Jean Cup finals there as well, didn't we? Last week. Ashley saying you went to Loughborough to watch the tennis a few weeks ago. Okay, yeah, that's very close to where I am. I've never been there actually. I'd love to go. Watched Heather Watson. Nice. So at the moment we're kind of at Son serve in the second set, early stages. Djokovic serving at 15-all.
I've got myself some lunch as well, Jamie. Just
good shout.
Start of the second set.
Yeah. You went at a really good time. You didn't miss anything.
Just the 1 point actually. Djokovic taking his time, right?
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I'm getting.
Sorry, Joe, I might have to run to the loo as well.
Yeah, no worries. Again, yeah. It's probably a quiet point in the second set, so no worries.
Brilliant. I'll be sort of a minute or so.
Glasgow's a great place for tennis at the moment, Ghibli. Yeah, obviously we've just had the Billie Jean King Cup the last week. Got to go to that for pretty much the whole of the week, as many days as I could, and then we had the Davis Cup as well in September. Normally, it's been kind of middling for tennis tournaments, sort of ITF stuff. But all of a sudden, we've got two massive team tournaments in a row. We hopefully will get a little bit of momentum from that and have a few more there. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Glasgow had a few ITF players. We've got a few. Aidan McHugh, at about 300 or so in the world, just won an ITF tournament in Glasgow. And Anna Brogan, who is a good friend of mine from my tennis club, is about the same ranking, just under or over 400 in the world, but that's about it. These are very relatively low-ranked players, I guess. We've not got anybody huge up and coming at the moment. Obviously, look out for Aidan and Anna. They could still do something. I remember seeing Marcus Willis eating Mars bar and a can of Coke. I saw him. He's still winning tournaments, actually. That's another shout out I should give to Scott Duncan, a doubles player from Glasgow who's about 400 in the world. He's been winning tournaments with Marcus Willis on the ITF Tour. So you could see them make a breakthrough. I think they're about the same ranking, 400 or so in the world. But loads of momentum in their side, so who knows? Back to the tennis, sorry. Djokovic and Medvedev for the world number. What are they nowadays? 7 and 5. I completely lose track of what they are. But top teners anyway. We'll get back to them rather than the 400 odd ranks of the world. Novak having a little bit of a go at somebody there. Don't know what's going on. Maybe just a missed shot. Maybe something to do with the lights again. He's looking up. Anyway, yeah. Are they replaying the point? I'm not sure without the audio on. I'm afraid viewers might be able to tell me. Yeah, there you go. You've got Mohamed Liani looking up and getting on the walkie-talkie to temper the Novak fire there. Challenge just going wide. So this looks like a fairly standard Medvedev hold. Again, Jamie, not missed anything. Don't worry. Something to do with the lights has definitely thrown both players off, though. Novak getting a little bit angry. I think something's going off every so often, and Liani, the chair umpire, is on the walkie-talkie to get something turned off, I think.
Right, okay. Yeah. So
Novak, I was going to say, Novak is rattleable, right? It does happen every so often.
That's a nice point from him there. Yeah, and it must be quite irritating for them both to be sort of making such a big issue of it today, right, in this match.
I suppose the light guy maybe thought he didn't have to be in attendance for a dead rubber.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you eating there, Jack?
I'm eating. This is going to sound weird. I quite like weird sandwiches, but I've got salmon with horseradish and sauerkraut sandwich.
Oh wow, that sounds different.
It's good.
Sounds good though. I like a bit of sauerkraut.
I'm gonna have to take intermittent pauses though, so you can't hear me. Can't hear me chewing on mic.
John's calling you a hipster. Yeah, that does.
I like the tag. I think hipster is loaded with quite a lot of coolness nowadays, right? It's cool to be a hipster.
Ashley's asking how many points you win for the tournament. So if you're an undefeated champion, it's 1,500, right?
I think does Ashley, just because while you were off air there, Jamie, we were talking about ITF tournaments, sort of the lower ranked ones. So yeah, in case she does mean this one, 1,500 for an unbeaten champion. But for an ITF tournament, to put it relatively, your lowest level ones are worth 15 points. Then you've got 25 points. Then you've got 60 points, and then you've got 100 points. So 100 is a really high level ITF tournament, very difficult to win. For winning a Grand Slam, obviously it's 2,000 points. So you're talking 20 times the amount of points. And then for a very low ITF tournament, 15, it's very small fry basically compared to other tournaments. A challenger tournament as well, you're talking about 125 points or 150. So it's about a tenth of a good challenger. So
right, wow, that really does put it into some perspective.
Yeah. So it's a good stepping stone, but if you want to break the top 300 or so, you've got to win you've got to make a good run at a challenger or two, which is a much bigger deal than making a big run at an ITF tournament.
Absolutely, yeah. Those challenges are super difficult to win, aren't they? So, yeah, as has been well documented, a really difficult sport to kind of actually make a living in.
Yeah. Quick back to the match there. Break point for Djokovic.
Ooh.
Medvedev first serve down the tee, chip return from Djokovic, just clips the baseline. They're in a forehand cross-court rally with Djokovic making a play down the middle. Medvedev a backhand down the middle, Djokovic slicing. Medvedev backhand inside out, gets to offense. Doesn't do anything with the forehand though, so Djokovic slices again. Medvedev tries to work the point with a forehand inside out. They're going cross-court now with the backhands, slicing each other. Djokovic with a fairly aggressive backhand, gets a chance to play a forehand aggressive. Doesn't do anything back to backhands cross-court. Again, they're just trading neutral. Djokovic with a great change in direction down the line. Again with a forehand down the line. He's in the offense. Drop shots to try and take advantage. Clips the net. That was quite a long rally.
That felt like the longest rally of the match, right?
Yeah, it was a tough one to talk through there. I thought it was going to end a bit earlier than that. Jeez,
especially when you've got some sauerkraut probably still hanging around there.
Yeah. Very good point, yeah. Distance running point there. Jesus, 91 metres from Medvedev.
Wow, wow. I think John was talking about his lunch, saying that he'd had some salmon with dill. What does that make him?
Oh, that's hipster as well, John.
He's
No way.
wanted to, he wants
That's
to be
absolutely hipster. You're not shirking the hipster tag there, I'm afraid, John. Love that. That's definitely worth talking about when we've got a little lull. Ben Shelton. He's not. I think he's on the cusp of the top 100 now. He's currently in a challenger tournament. I believe 1 or 2 wins would have secured him that place in the Australian Open.
Wow, okay. Yeah,
he's making massive runs. I think he's just won 2 challenger titles in a row. One of the best up and coming Americans for a while.
How old is he now?
I think he is 18 or 19. Might only be 19, I think.
Okay.
Big lefty serve like Draper. Really, really good on a hard court. We saw him beat Casper Ruud in Cincinnati this year, 6-3, 6-3.
That's where I remembered his name.
Yeah, that would have been the tournament he made the biggest run. And I think he won a match at the US Open as well at a fairly, obviously young age. And to be cracking the top 100 already. I was talking to Damien Kust about this. It's like Jack Draper and Carlos Alcaraz and Holger Rune, particularly the latter two, making breakthroughs at 18 and 19 is abnormal. So as soon as somebody like Ben Shelton making a breakthrough at 19 into the top 100 happens, we kind of forget that's a huge deal because these guys are paving the way for this next generation. Setting the bar so high. Ben Shelton's run to the top 100 or just about the top 100 is still huge.
That's a really good point. Yeah. It's not always meteoric, is it? Like Alcaraz and sort of Rune. It's a lot of the time a bit of a slower process. I guess guys like I don't know, maybe sort of Casper Ruud. I guess I'm not sure where sort of late teens. I think he was, potentially around the same sort of ranking. Not sure. I can't remember. Yeah, certainly wasn't as meteoric as Alcaraz or Rune or even Sinner.
Very good point, actually. Worth looking at. Well, I'll take a bite of sauerkraut there.
And even Medvedev as well, to be fair. I mean, I remember him playing a match against Stan Wawrinka at Wimbledon 2017, so only about 5 years ago. And he'd have been 21, maybe 2021 then. And he was probably around about top 50, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just looking at Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud made his breakthrough into the top 100 at 21 years old.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
Or 20, sorry. So 20, because his birthday's at the end of the year, of course.
Yeah.
But
that really puts into perspective what Ben Shelton's, potentially doing, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to see what Djokovic's was, because it was definitely 19, but it can't have been far off the same sort of time. I'll actually find that out. I'm intrigued. It might have been 18, possibly.
When he broke into the top 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say about 19. I would go for.
What's your final guess, Jamie? You're going to go for 19?
I'll go for 19. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Djokovic's age in 2005. Yeah, 18 actually. 18.
18.
So, okay. Yeah. So you'd say he was a fairly early starter.
I guess because him and Murray were born a week apart, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In May, I believe. I'm just getting a question there. If you could go to any slam for one day, which would it be? Location day, Jack? Well, I've been to Wimbledon, so I'll come down to the other 3. I think Australia. Is so chill in general. I like the heat, although it's meant to be very, very warm, I suppose. But I'm a fan of that. I don't mind that too much. And generally, the quality's pretty good with everybody refreshed, right? Although the US Open maybe goes down as the best slam this year.
You
prefer
that? Yeah, you prefer going to Australia, would you, Jack?
Compared to the
hustle and bustle.
Australia for a quarter-final day, Jamie. That's what I'd go for.
Okay. Why quarter-final day?
Quarter-final day, generally, I think you get the best match. Obviously, and this is total conjecture, but generally quarter-finals, and you get 4 matches rather than the 2 for the semis, for the finals, or 2, I guess, with the men's and the women's. But a quarter-final day, you always get at least a couple of good matches, right? I could every single slam I can think of. Sinner Alcaraz at the US Open, for example, in the last one, and Wimbledon we had Rafa Fritz, and then Djokovic Rafa at the French Open, and then Australia. I mean, this has proven my point for sure. Like, you keep going back, you've always got a good match in quarters.
Yeah. Well, going back to 2018, when I was in Australia, I had obviously Rafa and Cilic the evening match, which was shaping up to be a really great one. Unfortunately, ended prematurely, and then had Edmund against Dimitrov, I think, a couple of hours before, which was also a great match as well. Edmund came through.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Kyle Edmund getting to the semis of a Grand Slam.
I know. Yeah, we had a talk about that the other night. That was the Kyle Edmund and Hyun Chung semi-final run.
Oh yeah,
tournament.
Chung as well, of course. I always
Yeah.
forget about Chung. Always
I
draws a
know.
tear to my eye. Poor guy. I can tell you he's tried to make his comeback this year. Played doubles in a challenger in Seoul at the end of the year. That's been it. I don't think he tried to get into the singles court quite yet, but that's his first return to any professional match in 2 or 3 years, I believe. So progress.
Wow.
It's all about back injuries, apparently. You know, it used to be sores in his feet so bad that blisters, I guess, he couldn't play. And then that after months of trying to fix that, it turned into back injuries, and that's been debilitating for him basically. And he's just not been able to get rid of that. I guess the back's such a obviously it's like the core of the shot in some ways, right? So
yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, such bad luck. That match he beat Djokovic was an absolute epic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was great. Djokovic obviously not quite at his best. That was when he was coming back from his poor year, right? Or that was his poor year, I guess. 2017 was when he had the injury layoff at the end of that, and then coming back, he just wasn't the same guy. But still, Chung at his best is a Novak clone. He's like he's insanely good. His backhand technique and stuff is just insanely difficult to play. Oh, cheap net point there from Medvedev.
Yeah. That was very poor technique on the volley, wasn't it? Just sort of aimed it straight down into the net.
I know you barely crept up the halfway there, did it? It just went straight into the bottom.
Yeah.
If Tomic played Glasgow and Jack didn't take his chance to watch him, I'd definitely go see Tomic for sure. Of course I would. An interview with him is money for sure.
God, yeah, Tomic reminds me a bit of the I think kind of Bernard Tomic has almost spent the last 5 or 6 years doing what Cristiano Ronaldo done the last week or so. I don't know if you saw any of that, Jack, but kind of Ronaldo, really, I don't think can really handle being out of the headlines and out of the attention. I think Tomic is the same, even though his tennis doesn't really do any talking.
Exactly, yeah, desperate to get something on in the press, right? Medvedev with a great backhand down the line there, by the way, to save a fairly crucial point at 30-all.
Yeah.
Again, not generally the guy to make the first change in direction in this matchup, but we did see apparently he's every other match he's played this week has been 80% cross-court backhands, and this match has been 63%. So
I'm going to go that was in, Jack. What are you saying? I thought that looked in.
No, I'm going to say in. Yeah, I'll agree with you, Jamie.
Thought it looked good.
Daniil looked too puzzled, right? Oh, no way. Look at that. That's a joke.
Oh, wow.
As always, big asterisk, Hawkeye, 2.7 millimeters of margin for error, but whatever. That's been 2 we've seen that have definitely been less than 2.7 millimeters. However,
Ashley's asking, is Tomic going to play the Australian Open? I don't know. He doesn't always get doesn't always get a wild card, does he? No,
wild cards go to much bigger and better prospects than Bernard Tomic, I'm afraid, actually. Despite him being the greatest of all time, I'm afraid they definitely go somewhere else. You can look at Rinky Hijikata, who got a wild card for the US Open, I believe, who played Rafa in the first round. I don't know if you remember that, Jamie, but he got a set off Rafa, and he played Medvedev as well in Cincinnati. He's definitely a great prospect. Jason Kubler, he must still be in the top 100 though. I'll just check that. If he's not, there's no way Jason Kubler wouldn't get a wild card. He's 105 actually, so he might just miss out. So yeah, he's eligible for a wild card.
Is Van Rijthoven in the top 100? Because he didn't get the ranking points for Wimbledon, but I presume he is.
Good point. Yeah, he will be because he won that title, right? That's probably enough to keep him in the top 100. The one he won against Medvedev. Oh, he's not. He's 109 in the world. Jamie.
Oh, okay. So yeah, looking at wild card potentially.
That seems harsh, doesn't it?
Does. That's the Wimbledon ranking points thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he got to the 4th round, of course. Yeah, that's so harsh. He's still not made his top 100 debut. Oh my God, didn't know this.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah. And just going back to Tomic one final time as well, I think they probably would have decided that he's not worthy of a wild card when he decided to go into I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, Australia, right? Just before the Australian Open started.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Oh my God. Yeah, you're making me think of Matt Hancock now.
God, yeah, that's not good.
It's quite funny though. I've not watched it, but I did get to see like an hour of it, and my mum was telling me that he's just been nominated for every challenge he's had. I imagine that's Bernard Tomic as well in Australia, doing every challenge in the books there probably. Yeah, there we go. Is Bernard Tomic the Australian Matt Hancock? I think so.
I think that's a good comparison. Yeah, not sure who comes out worse.
Very good point, Ghibli. Yeah. Rolling on serve there, Tomic in the jungle there, an appropriate segue because it's been fairly comfortable hold for both bar one game. So not a ton to talk about in the match with a pretty easy serve +1 for Novak kicking off that service game.
Oh yeah.
Dominic Thiem may not be in the top 100. Very good point. Is Thiem in the top? I don't think he is. I don't think he's quite got enough points. What do you think, Jamie? What's your guess?
I think he's just inside.
He's 102 in the world.
Okay.
So you basically got it right. But obviously that makes all the difference in the end, if he doesn't get enough points for Australia.
It does, but he's definitely going to be guaranteed one, isn't he?
He should be in the main draw, I believe. Just even first round losses at some tournaments would probably creep him into the top 100. So,
sure, yeah. So if he plays kind of Sydney or
yeah, exactly
as well.
The warm up events, Great Ocean Road Open, stuff like that, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, what a question! That's a good one from Ashley. Who would I give a wild card for the Australian Open? Let me look at the ATP rankings, and I'll give you my answer.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look as well.
Other
than us guys, of course, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. You would have been first on my list, Jamie. I don't even know how good a tennis player you are, but
not great.
Affable enough that I'll give you a wild card to the Australian Open. No, Ben Shelton should make it, to be honest. So I'm going to leave him out. Oh, do you know who I'd give a wild? That's my pick so far. I'll just see if there's anybody else I can see though. Jamie. Oh, Stan Wawrinka, right?
Where's Stan Wawrinka ranked now?
150.
Oh, okay. He's going to get one then, isn't he? I think
he probably, definitely will as a former champ.
Yeah.
I was thinking Stricker just for the level he can bring to a tennis court.
Yeah.
Or Hugo Gaston for the drama.
Hugo Gaston. I'm just seeing as well. Has Verdasco officially retired or?
No, he's not. No, I'm sure he's not playing.
Okay. So I mean, past semi-finalist, right, as well. In Australia.
Yeah. So I took a big bite of food there. In 2009, yeah, he got to the semis and had that epic against Rafa.
Absolutely. Yeah. Then you've got the younger brother of Mikael Ymer as well. Yeah, a few contenders there, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Elias will get one. That seems unlikely.
No.
Just not much benefit for Australia giving him one. Definitely, I think Stan would definitely get one. Almost certain.
Stan will get one, yeah. Former champion.
Haven't they got to give it to the other Slam countries? There's a few that are designated for that. So Ben Shelton would be guaranteed one, even if he didn't make the top 100. Given the highest ranked American will get a wild card for Australia. They've got like a thing going on basically.
Is that just with them two, or is that every Slam country? Did you say? Or?
Yeah, see, I'm not sure. I know there's an American deal for sure, but I don't know if there's a British one because I can't imagine who would get that. Maybe Liam Brodie, I think, is the highest ranked player outside the top 100.
To be honest, I can't. Yeah, possibly Liam Brodie. Yeah, I can't really remember. Sort of thinking a few years back when it was kind of only really Andy Murray. I can't remember them handing out a wild card to another British player.
Exactly what I was going to say, Jamie. I can't remember Liam Brodie getting a wild card to the Australian Open ever. I doubt he's played it that many times. So it's unlikely. I think there's just an American one that's set up and that's it. So.
Right. Yeah. John just bringing up a photo there. Where's this guy ranked? I think he's sort of on the verge of breaking the top 100 as well.
He looks like a good player, actually. there you go. Liam Brody only played the Australian Open for the first time this year. I remember it now because he sank to his knees when he won the qualifying round, and then Andy Murray came on Twitter and said, "That face you pull when you find out Andy Murray is the highest ranked British player," basically. So just roasting Liam Brody on Twitter as he always does.
Liam Brody's good on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, well, Andy as well. Their banter back and forth is so funny.
Yeah.
Fairly big point here at 30-15, by the way, just with an extended rally. If Novak were to take it, well, he pushes a backhand long, so it looks like no danger after all, probably for Medvedev in this service game.
Yeah. It's kind of...
Go on, Jamie, sorry.
No, it wasn't. No, you go for it, Jack, sorry.
I was just going to say, there's been dips and peaks and troughs to this match, but yeah, it's been fairly comfortable, as a lot of the matches have, to be fair. We were saying that at the start of the week, the courts are so quick that any of these players should be able to hold serve pretty comfortably, basically. So it's not conducive to the best rallies sometimes. Obviously, we saw the Tsitsipas Medvedev match, and that was still great. They played so well in the second set, but they have to play out of their skin on return in particular, for the rallies to be incredibly enticing, I would say. So there's been a few too many easy games, and that's been quite a lot of this tournament as well. But it's not necessarily bad tennis. It's just how the conditions are playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Serve and volley there for Medvedev. Ashley saying that James Ward was such a better player. James Ward definitely didn't get a wild card, I don't think, for the Australian Open.
James Ward did one thing, and he obviously was a great player, and I'm not knocking any professional player at all, full stop, because I respect how much work goes into being a professional player. But James Ward had basically one standout moment in his career, right? Maybe made a Wimbledon third round at some point, possibly. But the main thing I'm talking about is the Davis Cup, of course, when he had that comeback against John Isner. I don't know if you remember that, Jamie.
Yeah, I do. That was amazing.
2 sets down and managed to make the 5-set comeback. Ended up being crucial to the Davis Cup win that year. So yeah, that was huge.
Yeah. Although I think you're forgetting, James, he did have a miraculous run as well to the Queen's semi-finals, I believe, as well one year.
Oh, that totally escaped me. I completely forgot that.
Yeah. The James Ward heyday.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's a massive deal for him. I don't think he'll have made the semis of another ATP tournament, I'd imagine. No disrespect, Wardy, sorry. But I'm making an educated guess based on your ranking.
Yeah, I tend to agree. James Ward had a bigger game, but Brody had more fight, could be saying. I think that's been quite harsh on Brody, actually. I think Brody's probably got a better game than James
Brody's
Ward.
Great, yeah. But Liam Brody's great when he's playing his best tennis. Really good lefty game. Saw him live this year, actually, playing Diego Schwartzman at Wimbledon. Beat him in 5 sets. I should say Liam Brody beat Diego Schwartzman in 5 sets. It was a great match.
Wow, yeah.
He's got plenty of fight, especially, how many times do you get knocked back from Australian Open qualifying before getting through? I think he made 5 appearances in qualifying, and I only made it on his 6th appearance, I should say.
Wow.
So yeah, that's fight right there, right? Diego, the grass court specialist. Yeah, okay, it's not the biggest scalp, John, fine, but it's still a top 21, right?
I've got a tweet up here as well saying I miss the old format of the ATP singles. I can't remember that, to be honest. 3 singles matches each day, Tuesday to Sunday. That sounds great. I mean, that sounds really exciting. But I can't remember that, Jack. Can you? No,
not at all. No, that would have been ages ago. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely before London.
I think so, yeah. Food again there, Jamie, that's
Yeah, no, you go for it. I think I'll probably have to be doing that at the end of this set anyway. If it goes to a third set, you'll see me eating. There's
been a few spotty moments on serve for Daniil, but yeah, overall it's been pretty standard, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to a tiebreak. Who was the highest ranked player? Almost definitely Liam Brody. I don't think James Ward made a top 100 debut. Brody hadn't. Brody hasn't either, but he was very, very close. He was on the cusp.
Let's have a look. I'm going to go get James Ward's highest ranking up. I'm going to go for 105.
It'll be close, yeah. I mean, a run to the semis in Queens, right, gives you a fair chunk of points. I would say 165.
Oh, okay. What does it say? Highest ranking? Oh, wow, 89. He did make the top 100.
Sorry, James. Apologies. There you go. I set myself up to fail there.
2015, he made 80. So that was the year he made
Right.
the third round of Wimbledon.
Right, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I suppose that does actually help quite a lot. It's like winning a challenger, basically, in terms of points-ish. I think it's 90 points, so
wow,
still a fair chunk.
Yeah. 6'3". I mean, yeah, he had the physique to be a top player, but didn't quite have the game.
The James Ward disrespect there. Sorry, James Ward.
The James Ward fan club has justice, Ghibli saying.
I'm loving the British tennis departure from Djokovic Medvedev to talk about British tennis. I should say we should get back to the match at some point, though, right?
Yeah, that's true. We're getting towards the business end of the set, right?
Yeah, 40-15 from Djokovic there, looking like another easy service hold. One comment on the analysis, just because I haven't touched on it for a little while. I have seen, again, a lot of slicing from Djokovic. We saw Medvedev's contact point is a lot lower than it usually is. Again, you're not going to see him win the point or force an error with a slice, most likely, but it is going to extend the rally for longer than his previous opponents. Just gives Medvedev less option to put the ball away, basically. Which is, again, Djokovic shouldn't want to extend the rallies in these conditions, actually. So the slice is maybe a little bit of a bizarre play for me. Maybe Djokovic just isn't playing as confidently as he would be in Australia, for example. I don't know. I'm a little bit perplexed by that, to be honest.
Amazing return from Djokovic just there off the first serve.
Yeah, great rally here.
Yeah.
The Medvedev
shot. There you go. Always the Medvedev drop shot brings the rally to an end.
It's weird how Djokovic Medvedev matches basically come down to old school finesse and variation, slice drop shots, volleys, because they're bred. Yeah, I mean, that's very true. Again, you can point to other matches they've had where that's not been the case. So Australia in 2021, where Djokovic basically owned Medvedev from the back of the court. The conditions were fast enough that he could hit through. The last few matches, for sure, have come down to different sort of old school tactics. But there have been matches where the two of them have been able to dominate from the back of the court. It's not all war of attrition.
Oh,
I think he made that, actually. I think he made that, Jimmy. Yeah.
Made it. Some good banter going on in the chat. I think Ashley's off. Thank you, Ashley. And Ghibli saying, light a candle next to the Ward mural.
Yeah, mega disrespect. Yeah, see you later, Ashley. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Medvedev slice success rate minus 28%. Yeah, I think that's fair as well.
Yeah. Very low.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's a real stat there, Jamie.
No surprise.
30-all on Medvedev serve, missed an unforced error there from Medvedev, sorry. So he is under a little bit of pressure. Djokovic definitely in the defence at the moment, though. Maybe gets that backhand back into play. He does. So we're back to neutral. Great defence from Djokovic there. Probably senses the moment here. If he makes an error, he'll be raging because he'll just want this match done and dusted. Yeah. Drop shot from Medvedev. Definitely a plop shot again.
Oh, there you go. That was a shot that says, I just want to come off the court soon, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, Djokovic putting that away, so we're now at break point. And you sense maybe match point, though. I don't like it when commentators say that, but, you know.
You don't like that, no?
No, I'm not a fan. Always jinxes it.
Yeah. I guess it's good if it's the guy that you want to lose, right?
Yeah, that's fair, actually, yeah. As soon as they say it about Andy. Racket out of Djokovic's hands there as he lunges for a forehand cross court from Medvedev. We're at juice.
At juice. Not in, yeah. He's apologising to the ball boy, which is good to see from Djokovic. So we're at juice. Medvedev kind of lives to fight a bit longer.
Again, I can't see him getting embroiled in any extended rallies. I think he'll go for broke here.
That's it. Yeah. Be interesting to see what time he's on tomorrow as well against Fritz. Will it be the daytime one or the evening one?
Yeah, I don't know if they've decided that yet, actually. Possibly. I can see producer shaking his head. That's not been decided yet.
Right.
So yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know quite yet.
I presume the winner of the match later will want to play tomorrow night, right? 'Cause that would be a very short turnaround for Tsitsipas or Rublev to win either of those wins
Yeah.
tonight, and then they're back playing tomorrow lunchtime.
Okay, at the same time, I don't think it comes down to that, Jamie. Obviously, yeah, you're right. Preference, they would prefer to play later on, but I think it just comes down to what the organisers feel is the best match to put on first.
Right? Yeah, sounds more likely.
So Steph will be against
Rude.
Rude. Yeah, thank you. I'm so bad at remembering the groups. Steph will be against Rude. I would imagine Novak goes on last, but I could be wrong.
So you're taking Steph over Rublev then, Jack? You've got Steph there already.
Yeah, I am. Is it Rublev or Rude? I've lost track again.
Well, Rublev can still go through tonight, can't he? If he beats Tsitsipas.
Ah, yeah, of course, yeah. Sorry, so it comes down to a shootout between the two of them. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. The two of them, I've said from the start of the tournament, are probably the guys to watch in terms of serve plus one. They'll both mop up and serve really easily. Rublev in particular maybe goes underrated in that department. Obviously, his forehand's one of the biggest on tour. As Novak walks off court, by the way, I don't know what he's doing.
Or Ghibli speculating about something dodgy going on again.
Oh, that was, yeah, there's a bit of controversy there where it wasn't really merited, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would say matchup wise, they're kind of even on a hard court. However, the level that Steph has brought to this tournament so far and the manner in which he beat Medvedev, and even the match he had against Djokovic, again, it's such an unfavourable matchup, but he kept it kind of close. Yeah. I'm going to say Steph is the favourite there.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think Rublev had a good win, didn't he, for first time out? But then I think kind of it was a chastening defeat for him against Djokovic. A lot of that self-harm, self-hatred sort of stuff was coming out for him again, which is always quite difficult to see, actually. He's really, really hard on himself, isn't he? So yeah, I think I would tend to agree. I think Tsitsipas leads the head-to-head 6-4, I think it was, which is a bit closer than what I thought, actually. But yeah, I would go for Steph to come through as well.
I'll just have a wee look at their head-to-head, actually, because I can think of the match they had in Hamburg in 2020. That was a great match. So I'm wondering if they've had other sort of epics. I think it's always been fairly close from what I remember. They had I missed the semi in Astana. I kind of remember that, but that was only this year. The Madrid quarterfinal, again, sort of remember that, but for it to go 3 sets, I remember Tsitsipas being the far better player.
Right.
A fairly standard 6-4, 6-4 win for Rublev indoors, actually. And they had an epic in the ATP finals. That's probably the one to look at in 2020, where it went to a third set tiebreak. And I remember maybe Steph had a match point and double faulted, but won it anyway. Or maybe Rublev had a match point and double faulted and then lost.
Oh, let's look into that one. That sounds
a bit of drama. I would like to know. But the Hamburg one's got to go down as their best match. I think Tsitsipas served for the match there, and then Rublev broke back and ended up winning the last 4 games.
Right. Well, I looked that up, and Djokovic is off court receiving to my droplets, apparently. Yeah, Rublev held a match point against Tsitsipas, but lost in a third set tiebreak in 2020. You're right, Jack. Good memory.
We did have, and it definitely was a double fault then, Jamie, because I remember it.
Right. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Lost
brutal.
6. Yeah. Brutal. 8-6 in the third set breaker.
Yeah. Wow. I suppose that was revenge for the Hamburg loss, because that would have been pretty stinging for Tsitsipas, especially on clay, where he would probably be the better player for me against Rublev.
Yeah, definitely. So it seems like Djokovic is kind of, being cautious, as John says. Not quite sure. I didn't see how this came about.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Daniil having a little smirk to himself.
Yeah. Wonder if he's sort of, thinking about this is the last thing he needs, sort of playing this match and then waiting for this as well.
I wonder if, I really, Daniil's. I wonder how the birth of his child influences his tennis. Honestly, because it seems like he has such a fresh perspective on things. He seems to have played better since he had a child. At the same time, he kind of talks about how motivation, or not motivation, I guess, but perspective completely shifts on the back of that. I think it helps probably. Is what I would say. It seems to free him up a little bit. I would have said.
Yeah, it's a good point. Going back to Andy, I think that really freed him up, didn't it? When he had his kids. Hasn't been the same for Rafa so far, but still early days for him.
Yeah, he's only had the one win, right, since they had it.
Yeah. That was yesterday. Have we all seen the ATP finals promo video mimicking The Office? Wow, no, I haven't seen that, Jono. I'm going to make a note of that. I need to see that.
I wonder if it's not. You can get that on. I think, right? You could put that on just while we're waiting. Is that possible?
Could we play that?
It's not copyrighted or anything. I think. Producers are working on it. I think.
Yeah, Mr. Talking Tennis in the background, seeing if he can pull these particular strings.
It's good content, Jamie. It's definitely worth pulling up.
Yeah. It sounds it.
Although we are seeing Novak walking back onto court. Actually,
Novak's back.
We'll see if we can serve it out, and maybe we can get it ready for the next change of ends.
Yeah. So
very bizarre time to go off court. It must have been fairly important.
Yeah. Serving to stay in it. We're going to see a fair bit of serve and volleying here.
No serve and volley there with a wide serve. Surprised me actually. Drop shot from Djokovic bailed out the point almost to go love 15.
Ooh, yeah.
I see what you mean by serve and volley though, right? Jamie maybe just wants to finish the points a bit early if he is having problems with his eyes.
Absolutely, yeah, potentially. And we're also it's gone past an hour and a half now, isn't it, this match? So probably wouldn't want it to go much beyond this, really.
Quite right, yeah. You wonder if in a third set if he does just give up the ghost a bit. Second serve for Djokovic at love 15, Jamie. One of the few times he's been under a little bit of pressure on serve in this match.
And the first serve was wild as well. Missed very easily.
It was, yeah. It was a fair bit out. Second serve down the tee, his favourite one in the ad court. Medvedev with a drop shot out of nowhere. Yeah, Djokovic on it in a flash. I mean,
yeah.
It's just not. Yeah, who has hit the worst drop shots today? Good question, Gibbly. Daniil for me.
Daniil for sure.
I can't recall one that he's won yet, Jamie.
No, me either. I mean, that was just an assist, wasn't it? It was like, here you go, put that away.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Back in the lead for crap drop shot. Yeah, I think that's fair. Back to 15-0. I mean, yeah, easy put away for Djokovic here to go 30-15. So we're probably looking at a hold of serve here.
Yeah, and potentially a tie break. Just bear with me one moment, Jack. I'm just going to plug my laptop in.
Yeah, no worries. I'll try and keep us on track with what's going on with this match here. With this service game, I should say. Again, we're looking for Djokovic. Quick points. Big first serve. Down the tee. Goes forehand inside out to Medvedev's backhand. Goes inside in with the forehand. The riskier shot choice for Djokovic, and he does net it. So it's now 30-0. To complete that game, says Gibley. Crap drop shots, you're quite right. A little bit of a pressure moment here. If Djokovic is interested, then he's going to have to dig in here.
Oh yeah, we're at 30-0.
First serve down the tee from Medvedev. Djokovic doesn't clip the line, so it is now a second serve. Seeing how he gets on here, I'll just let you know. Second serve from Djokovic. Out wide to Medvedev's forehand. Medvedev aggressive with the forehand down the line though. Djokovic is able to absorb it though and goes backhand down the line to try and get aggressive. Another crazy forehand down the line. Going for three risky shots in a row that he hasn't pulled off. So essentially 3 unforced errors to give Medvedev the break point, set point here.
So actually what he's trying to do there by kind of shortening the rallies and shortening the match, hopefully, might actually be doing the opposite and extending this match into a third set.
Yeah, he might regret that shot choice there, I think. We'll see if this is a bit tidier or if he's willing to grind out the point. I would side with the latter. If it does go to an extended rally, I don't think he'll make one more unforced error.
No.
Djokovic first serve out wide. Oh, he goes for the serve and volley, Jamie. There you go.
Oh, there you go. And it's successful as well. Yeah.
Might be his first serve and volley of the match, actually. He's been at the net, but I don't think he's explicitly serving approached like that.
There might have been one or two more, but not many.
I'm actually surprised Medvedev didn't call that, I'll be honest. He's really good at bunting it low if he knows it's coming, but he tried to get it deep there. Second serve from Djokovic at deuce now. Happy to tell you how this one goes. Djokovic second serve out wide to Medvedev forehand. Really good serve, actually. Trading down the middle low, no offense gained. Standard forehand from Djokovic dumped into the net.
Oh, now we got a set point. If this goes to a third, I bet Djokovic would probably really like to kind of not play it, wouldn't he? But I'm not sure how that would go down, sort of pulling out, retiring, and then back tomorrow, flying around the court for the semi-final.
I feel like the head-to-head should be a bit closer, so just even giving Daniil an extra point in the head-to-head, I think seems quite just. And the Novak Daniil rivalry. Ace down the tee though from Djokovic, so it's just now.
Snuffs it out.
I wonder if people making Medvedev return less well with S&V and such has made his own service worse, as feel more pressure this year.
That's a good point.
Gibley, I would say the players that have used serve and volley effectively against him have been few and far between. Steph did it well enough to say that in the last match he played. Kyrgios obviously did it twice amazingly against him this year. To be honest, in fact, he didn't even do it that much in the US Open match. It was the Cincinnati match where he used it basically explicitly, or solely, I should say. But I don't think it's anything to do with him being serve and volleyed against. Sometimes that can be quite beneficial to Daniil because he has to play those low shots more often, and the more practice he gets at that, the better he gets at playing it. So, third set point for Medvedev, by the way.
Third set point.
Again, just happy to talk through it. First serve from Djokovic. Down the tee, nails it, but Medvedev a great forehand return. Goes backhand cross with Djokovic. Backhand down the line to try and get him on the run. Great defensive forehand from Djokovic.
Oh, yeah.
So they're back to neutral. Djokovic with a forehand inside out. Looks locked in. Surely wouldn't miss from here. In a neutral position. Goes forehand inside out. Daniil's going to have to do something, I would say. Forehand inside out from Djokovic, but absorbed by Medvedev's backhand. They're still neutral. Djokovic with a great backhand cross court to go up in the point, gets a forehand, put away chance, but he doesn't go in the right direction. So they're back to neutral again. Medvedev skimming the baseline there with that forehand. Djokovic with another backhand chance to put the point to bed. Daniil absorbs. Forehand inside in from Djokovic. Oh my God, he made that. That's insane.
Oh, wow.
Probably point of the tournament there, given it was a set point. That was actually mad.
Crikey, how's your voice doing, Jack?
I know, yeah, Jesus. I think I had to talk for about 30 shots or something now.
I can take over the next one if you want, but I think you're doing a very good job with it.
I don't know, I'm happy to, don't worry. It's not a problem. I'm enjoying it a lot. There was like 3 or 5 turnarounds of the rally there where just like you were convinced the other player was going to win the point from the position they were in.
Particularly when Djokovic was on top and sort of he chose the wrong direction. Medvedev read it.
Medvedev absolutely nothing wrong with that last forehand there. That was insane.
No. Wow. Well, I guess that shows how much Djokovic wants to end it right here in the second set.
Big serve out wide from Djokovic. Prompts the return. So advantage to him.
Isn't that quite incredible though, right? How he can kind of just sort of switch it up like that, as we saw him serve and volleying, trying to end the points quicker, and then all of a sudden he says to himself, right, I'm going to dial in this point. And then he plays a match like that. It's insane.
You're right. I mean, we were saying that 3 unforced errors in a row, but as soon as it's a set point, he's absolutely not going to do the same thing again. Big unreturnable there from Djokovic to get a 5-all hold. That was great.
Big. That was big from Novak. Just as much for today, if not tomorrow as well.
Yeah, needed a bit of that as well to spark the match to life. This is all of a sudden very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't need to talk about James Ward when there's games like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Quite right, Jamie.
John says the longer the match goes on, the higher the motivation will be for Daniil. Conversely, Novak's might go down. Yeah, I think that seems to ring true. The longer it will go on, the more Novak will just want to get off the court, right?
Almost certainly, yeah. I think it is a bit of a factor. Obviously, we say Djokovic is invincible and he's got all the energy in the world, right? But a match with Daniil that goes on for like 3 hours, that takes a toll on absolutely anybody. And if it's for nothing in the end, why on earth would Djokovic stay on court? I mean, it's for points, but it's not going to make much of a difference. I think John was talking about him maybe getting a seeding in the above the 5 to 8 position in Australia, but I'm sure that's not 250 points or whatever it is for winning a match. I think it's less than that. It's not that big. It's not that big a deal. He'd be more keen to actually win the tournament, obviously, won't he?
Yeah. And I guess for that, you've still got a couple of 250s, right, as well, before the Australian Open starts too next year.
You do, but historically, Novak's very rarely played a warm-up tournament before Australia, right? I don't, apart from the ATP Cup, I should say. He normally plays the team one, but I don't think he's played a 250.
I thought he might have played Sydney one year, but I might be wrong.
You could be right, Jamie, but I can't recall. A great backhand winner from Djokovic there, by the way, to cross court to go 15-30.
Yeah, he's dialed in now. I think he's smelling blood maybe in this set.
That was an unreturnable though from Medvedev, so it is now 30-all. Some danger snuffed out.
Novak's talking to someone in the crowd. I'm not sure what about. Or talking to his box.
Another unreturnable down the tee there from Medvedev. I hate that feeling. I don't know how much tennis you play, Jamie. Obviously, you play a bit. We've seen your top 100 mugshot for when you make the breakthrough. But yeah, at 30-all, that point to either go to 30-40 or 40-30, it just feels so brutal to go from potentially 1 point away from winning the game to I have to win at least 3 points to now win the game. It's such a tough turnaround, I feel, to take.
It's such a big point, isn't it? And yeah, I think that's when you can start. When it gets to 30-all, it's pretty tricky to kind of not play the scoreboard at that point.
Yeah. We'll just take a very quick breather just to do a little bit of a promo here, if that's all right, Jamie. Gives me a chance to eat an apple slice.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
That was a quick promo video. That's not a spider behind me now. It's a
some spider. Looks like
it.
So hopefully going to a tie break here. A bit of squeakiness for this match. It has been interesting over the last couple of games. So I'm excited for some tie-break rallies. Daniil, with similar tactics to Djokovic, able to go into lockdown modes in tie-breaks, but not quite as well as Novak, of course. He's the best in the business at it.
Yeah. How do you if it goes for tie-break, Jack, which way are you expecting it to go?
Very, very tough to say. The Astana one was so good. And honestly, Daniil should have had that. I think he had the point on top of the net to go 6-5 up and then fluffed a volley kind of out of nowhere. I'm going to say Novak because it's got to be done now or he loses the match. I think I just don't see him hanging on for a whole third set. Although I bet we'd be surprised. I think, he might just... He's got chip in his shoulder. I was saying that at the start of the match. What about you, Jerry?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I would have to kind of side with Novak slightly. But I think, if it does go to a third set, then it would be really interesting to see how much he kind of really does sort of stay with it. We're saying this is maybe the first dead rubber he's maybe played as well. So
I'm sure there must have been at least one, right, Jamie? But I just I can't recall any off the top of my head.
Yeah, me either. I'm not sure if he's played one in the Davis Cup, but yeah.
Just 66 more subscribers to 700. I like that, John.
Wow.
Imagine when you get to 701, it'll be 99 subscribers to 800.
Yeah, hit that like. Apparently, John, I had my girlfriend and her friend were watching us over their lunch earlier, so I think we've got a couple of new subscribers there as well. So looking like we're going to a tie break here. Djokovic 30 love up. Goes to the.
I'd love to see the stats. I'd love to see the stats on Novak 7-5 sets dropped in his career as well. By the way, how often do we see him at 6-5 just roll through a service game to guarantee himself a tiebreak? I feel like he's one of the best in the business at that for sure.
Yeah, so mentally strong, right? We all want 1,000 subscribers. Then you'll want 2,000 though, John. No, you don't. Always nice to have something to work towards.
Bit of a ropey set first serve there from Djokovic at 30-15. Second serve here. Daniil looking pretty locked in actually. Might give him the advantage in extended rallies at the moment. Second serve down the tee from Djokovic kind of gives Daniil the edge though, because it was fairly tame. Backhand slice from Djokovic to try and temper it. Backhand down the line from Medvedev in the offense. Neutralised fairly quickly though. Now going backhands cross court. Djokovic goes down the line. Medvedev down the line with his forehand. Neither player grafting an advantage for themselves, kind of in backhand jail at the moment. Djokovic gives Medvedev a forehand though, and he should have control of the point, but he doesn't. Djokovic turning it around for backhand. Djokovic just goes long there, right? Or not? No, okay.
No,
Djokovic drop shot and...
Oh.
Yeah, great point, great finish there.
That was lovely.
Just lost sight at that point there. I was convinced Djokovic's backhand had went long.
Yeah, me too. I thought that went long. I wonder if we might see, if it did go long, we'll probably see it come up, won't we? But
yeah, normally they put it up, that's right.
Yeah, John saying what will end first, this match or Twitter? Yeah, I know, it does feel like that, right?
Very good point, yeah.
It's been a good match, though. It's been very. It's always nice to see these two play. A lot of very easy on the eye rallies, I would say, in this set.
Yeah, definitely. The quality has gone up from both players, right? Second serve for Medvedev to work with at 40-15 here, 6-5.
A bailout drop shot from Novak, but it worked, Ghibli saying.
Second serve down the tee catches Medvedev off guard, and we're in a tiebreak.
We're going to a tiebreak. I know this is really bad timing, Jack, but I will just have to rush to the toilet for really quickly.
No worries, Jimmy. Go ahead. I'll try and keep the apple in my belly and not...
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And we're back. Medvedev immediately starting with her serve and volley. Dumps it into the net. And it's 1-love Djokovic. Couple of shrugs to Gilles Savara, as if to say, what on earth am I doing? Blames the racket. This is squeaky bum time, yeah. No, you might be right. Maybe the stakes aren't quite high enough. I think Djokovic will just be clinical here. Big first serve down the tee. Medvedev deep enough in the court to neutralise it. Medvedev in the driving seat for backhand inside out. Uses a drop shot with Djokovic on the back foot. Djokovic only just gets to it and he pushes it along. Good time for a drop shot there. I feel like sometimes Medvedev chooses his drop shots when Djokovic isn't on the back foot, isn't really expecting an offensive shot. Yeah, drop shot worked. I think that's the first one, Ghibli. You're quite right. I don't think he's had one yet.
And I'm back. Oh, did I miss much, Jack?
You just missed a failed serve and volley from Medvedev and a successful drop shot from Medvedev.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I did miss something.
Yeah. Very impressive from him, actually. Very apt time to use it, just with Djokovic sort of falling back a little bit, expecting a bigger shot from Medvedev. So 2-1 at the moment with an unreturnable from Djokovic. Medvedev serving.
Ghibli's going 7-4 Djokovic. I'm going 7-5 Djokovic.
Medvedev was so good in that tiebreak the other day. I'll give him 7 points, and Djokovic gets 9-7.
Oh, that would be a bit of an epic.
Medvedev with a good approach, I think, should be enough. It is enough, yeah. Good approach to the net there.
Oh, it's a brilliant volley as well.
Scott Barkley would be proud. He loves a Daniil Medvedev net approach.
Put that away very competently.
Yeah, I love that. Unorthodox, but
Yeah,
actually great execution.
it's a John Silk special, I think, unorthodox.
We know who Daniel's getting coached by. Second serve out wide gives Medvedev a forehand offensive opportunity. He's a little bit tame with it though, never back to neutral. As I was saying, serve +1 leaves a lot to be desired. Backhand inside out from Djokovic should give him control of the point. Medvedev in that forehand corner to absorb as much as he can though. Djokovic maybe peppering the forehand for a little bit too long. Slices to the backhand. Medvedev thinking about coming forward, backs off again. They're back to neutral. Medvedev with a great backhand down the line, should have control of the point. Djokovic absorbs, oh my God, with a great defensive lob. Best shot of the rally. Slice back to Medvedev backhand. Djokovic absorbs on the stretch, but can't get it to the baseline. Looks exhausted after that one. Draws a wry smile from Daniil. 100%. Do we see Djokovic going on with this match if he gets to the third set?
You think he could pull out? You think?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, rather than
maybe.
just giving Medvedev a 6-2, 6-3 set or whatever, right? It would.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? How long's this match been going on for now?
Nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was incredible defense, but fair play to Medvedev. He kind of kept. He's trying to G the crowd up as well.
He's doing his signature celebration there. Love that one. I've got no idea, by the way, if the crowd have been against him or if they've been with him.
Yeah. Me either. Hard. Good tie-break, not great, but good. Ghibli saying.
Well,
building up.
It's the early days, isn't it, Ghibli? We'll see.
Early days. It could get to a great stage.
Can't judge a tiebreak after 5 points, right?
Yeah. It's the anticipation, is it, when it gets kind of to a crunch point and it becomes a classic.
Djokovic first serve, then the team misses the second serve. Oh, that was a second serve.
Oh, wow. He's double faulted.
Sorry. Yeah, Begg's double fault there.
Wow. Yeah. And I wonder as well whether
it's Begg because he's looking tired at the changeover.
He's looking tired, and I also wonder whether the eye thing kind of might be he's got his get out clause today as well.
Yeah.
If he says he's struggling with that, but he'll be okay for tomorrow.
Just seeing him there though, it looks like he's struggling to breathe a little bit. I wonder if there's a bit of would I blame him for this? A bit of showmanship to retire with showing face, after this set if he does lose it, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fine. I wouldn't be against that. You know why he's doing it.
I mean, you really wouldn't blame him. Yeah, he's come out and he's played, isn't he? He's played for nearly 2 hours, which is kind of, fair enough considering what he's got coming tomorrow. I wouldn't blame him at all if that's kind of where my head was at.
Yeah, same. You'll want to keep the points short here. Yeah, with a 7 volley, there you go. Does put it away for 4-3.
In he comes, nice, yeah. Yeah.
I was trying an SMV and a 4-2 at 3-2 as well. So yeah, really, really wanting to keep the points short.
Yeah.
That's normally where Medvedev's in his element when the other player feels like they need to shorten the points because Medvedev is happy to roll it to the baseline, playing it sort of 70%, 60% of his best game.
Yeah.
Ace out wide, by the way, from Medvedev, so it's 5-3.
Ace are at 5-3. Definitely looking like this could be a withdrawal from Djokovic if he loses this set, right?
Definitely, I would say so. A backhand from Djokovic clips the net for a net cord. Medvedev responds with a drop shot. Medvedev onto the lob, but can't even get it to touch the net before the ground there. Although admittedly a very difficult shot, the sort of running backwards 360 or 180, whatever you want to call it, forehand.
Yeah, it was a difficult shot. You would have backed him to have at least made the net right though before bouncing.
Yeah, I figured he would. I was pretty surprised at the execution there, even though it was a tough one.
But he might have gone through the legs. He tried to through the legs earlier, which he netted though. So I wonder if that played into the thinking.
Did you call 7-5 for Djokovic in the tiebreak? I think, Jamie, you still got a chance here.
I've got a chance. Yeah, Ghibli's wrong.
I'm still in contention. Yeah,
you're still going.
Djokovic with an aggressive serve +1. Medvedev absorbs with a forehand though. They're trading down the middle. Medvedev tries to work the rally with his forehand, going cross-court backhand. The stalemate between the two. Medvedev makes the first change in direction and pushes it long for 5-0.
5-0. Ghibli said this was the worst tiebreak of all time. Ghibli was treating this tiebreak with the same disdain that we were treating James Ward with.
A James Ward tiebreak of sorts, right? Brutal. For the record, I really like James Ward. I feel like too much disrespect and shade has been thrown away from me.
Me too. I couldn't remember either him being in the top 100. It must have been it was a short time, I think.
Yeah, that was a malfunction in my software there. I definitely knew he was in the top 100.
I thought you was going to say it was a malfunction with the ranking.
No, my God. Christ. Great backhand from Medvedev there. Yeah, just forces a volley error from Djokovic. I don't know, actually. Maybe would have expected to make that.
I think it was a good pass from Medvedev. I think I need to see a replay on it, but
it was just on him quite quickly, right? I don't know. I wouldn't have expected Djokovic to miss that.
No. Maybe sort of snatched at it a bit. So we've got a set point for Medvedev coming up here.
Oh my God! Did you see the predicted bounce there?
Oh, I missed that.
It was going a mile long. I didn't realise that.
Wow.
Djokovic was just there. It was on him too quickly to put the racket down. I'm used to that play. Dumps a backhand in the net, and it's Medvedev's set.
Oh, he takes a set. God.
Go on, pull out Novak.
Wow.
Surely he pulls out.
Oh, God, I'm not sure who's going to be happy with that. I mean, Medvedev will be happy, but yeah.
Look at Djokovic heading the hands there on the changeover.
What's he going to do here?
Gasping for breath.
God.
Oh, what's he doing? He's shaking. Look at his hand.
Oh, wow. Oh, God. What was in that drink earlier?
My God, somebody's caffeinated Djokovic's cappuccino in Torino.
Someone slipped in and spiked him with an espresso.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, he's
wow.
I mean, if he's milking it for all it's worth, Jamie, fine. You know, I'd respect that. I don't know. Maybe there is something wrong. There might be, but I really don't know why he plays this third set. Honestly,
I don't know why. I think he'll play it just to sort of save face, no? Because I don't know. I think it doesn't make any sense for his long-term prospects in this tournament to play it. But wow.
We're not getting any words from him or anything. I don't think I haven't seen him call for a trainer or anything like that. I haven't seen him talking to his box that much either.
No. It looks like he's going to carry on. I think if he does, we're just going to see serve and volley and try and end the points as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I'm just listening to what Annabelle Croft is saying to see if there's anything maybe shedding some light. Just saying he's not walking properly apparently and stumbling a bit, feeling sick, dizzy. Yeah, but Annabelle just saying what we're saying as well. Basically, we got no idea what's going on. Basically, I don't think anybody else in the room does.
She wasn't able to shed any light, unfortunately. That shaking is not really seen that before. I'm just going to grab some lunch really, really quickly.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Again, I'll try and shed any light if I do get any information, but pretty much everyone there, no clue. They are talking about what the right thing to do is. Yeah, obviously, if Novak walks onto the court, I guess he'd be upset at losing the match either way. Save some face. I don't know. Like, yeah, Medvedev will be willing to extend every point as long as possible. Just make Djokovic as uncomfortable as he can, basically. He'll know that. Djokovic will know that. So it's very, very bizarre. He's hanging around. We never got that office video, by the way, producer. Possibly could have that at the change of ends if there is another extended changeover, just with Djokovic under the weather. Yeah, I agree with Ghibli. We've seen Novak in the past. You know, the Taylor Fritz one we were talking about earlier, when he's been injured and he's bounced back, fine. You know, but he could bring his best level to the set, and I wouldn't be particularly surprised. There's been a few stinging Andy Murray losses as well. We won't get into too many of those. But yeah, we have seen times where Novak doesn't look his best or he looks ill or something, and then you can still turn it on. So the match might not be dead in the water, actually. I know what you mean, Ghibli. Definitely. It sometimes isn't acting necessarily, but he certainly, you know, if he was to pull out, he's making people aware of that something's wrong before having to pull out, basically. Oh, Jamie, you're not back in. Hold on. Get you back in.
Oh, thank you. Cheers, Jack. I will just have to go to the microwave in a couple of minutes, but yeah, it'll only take a second.
What have you got cooking?
Well, I guess if I don't, I'm having if you two are the hipsters, I'm having beans on toast. I'm not sure what that makes me. Certainly not a hipster.
It's just culturally appropriate for a Brit, right, Jamie? I don't know.
Yeah. I guess so. I think it was just a very easy one just to chuck it in.
Love it. I've not had beans and toast in a while. You're getting me in the mood for it.
Oh, it's nice every now and again, isn't it? A bit of black pepper.
Yeah, I got brown sauce and a bit of Worcester sauce in there as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a ton of fans of that, but I love it.
Quite audacious.
Here we go. Okay, so 30 love, and then a very bizarre looking serve and volley from Djokovic, kind of like the US Open when, you know, he couldn't really do much and he had to come up with a different play. Whereas in Paris, it was all, he was at the peak of his powers. He was playing so well. I think the serve and volley as a frequent tactic here on a faster court. Well, actually, you know, it should be good on a faster court, I suppose. Actually, maybe it won't be the most bizarre play in the world if he does go for it. That's the micro calling, I think.
Can you hear that yet? 2 seconds.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks.
There we go. We've got the office coming up. Definitely worth seeing. Stick around for it. It's good content. Djokovic's first serve going out, by the way, 30-15. So Daniil with a second serve. Again, as I was saying before, Medvedev will probably be the one that's wanting to extend the rallies for as long as possible because pretty much all the advantages will fall in his favour the longer the rally goes on at the moment. Djokovic immediately sending a backhand down the line about a metre away from the sideline. So we're at 30-all. That's the sort of cheap point I would have been expecting given the end of the second set. If he loses this first game, come on. Surely he doesn't keep playing. Anyway, 30-all. This is a massive point, obviously. The match seemingly maybe being put to bed. If he were to be broken here, big first serve down the tee though. Medvedev can't find the court. Djokovic had Medvedev moving out wide. The wide serve, the more likely of the two serves for Djokovic to play if he is wanting to serve and volley. It's worth keeping in mind. So Medvedev was ready to cover that. He did think that Djokovic would maybe give him a curveball just to finish off the point quickly. So that was actually quite smart from Djokovic. Just going against the grain there. Second serve from Djokovic to work with. Sorry, Jamie. There you go. Big second serve down the tee from Djokovic. They're in an extended rally. As I say, Medvedev might be happy to never play offense here and to just extend the rally as long as possible. Doesn't look like he's taken on any risk so far. Manages to absorb that great backhand cross court there. Again, just rolling the ball back cross court, letting Djokovic make the first play. Good forehand to put Djokovic under a bit of pressure. And yeah, just
Yeah.
Djokovic looking a little bit despondent towards his camp.
I think you may have touched on this a bit earlier, Jack, but it's almost Medvedev might almost be the worst player to play, right? Where you're just trying to see it get through a match quickly.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as he senses weakness or something wrong with the other player, he'll put the hammer down and let the rally go on for as long as possible. That's why, I can't recall a match where Novak's looked a little bit ill, I guess the US Open's quite a good example, right? Where Djokovic isn't playing his best tennis. He tries to mix it up a bit, and Medvedev just puts the hammer down and he knows what to do. He extends the rallies as long as possible because Djokovic couldn't finish them on the day. So he's probably one of the best players for not getting baited by that sort of situation, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Djokovic today. He's really kind of he's really given the crowd their money's worth as well, hasn't he? Considering there's been nothing to play for him really in terms of going through and not going through.
First serve just going long, or Mohamed Liani seems to think it's gone long, but Medvedev's challenging. Yeah, it was long by a fair margin actually. Odds call from the lines judge. Second serve from Djokovic, I would imagine goes down the tee for his favourite serve, but we'll see if he changes it up. Just goes down the middle. Looked very lackluster actually, 129 kilometres an hour.
Wow.
Medvedev just putting the hammer down a bit. Djokovic for a great change in direction, but Medvedev in full defensive mode gets the ball back to neutral. Djokovic looking a little bit sleepy at the back of the court there. Drop shot out of nowhere. Medvedev with the redrop though. That's my least favourite Medvedev drop shot when he's already been drop shotted himself. He has the chance to, accelerate in the forehand there for sure, but Djokovic was almost privy to it before he'd even played it. Can you give me just a second, Jamie? I'll get a little bit of water. And
Go for it, Jack.
Give me a second.
Go for it. Asking if we want to hear a teaser for the interview you did last week. Yes, please, John. Next changeover. Okay, yeah. On matches of the year. Well, I guess Alcaraz Sinner's going to be there, isn't it? One that immediately springs to mind. Rafa Medvedev, Australian Open. But yeah, I'll try not to create any spoilers. So we've got Medvedev serving. Love 1. Djokovic just went a bit wild with the return. Goes out. So Medvedev is at 15 love. We might see more of that from Djokovic. Actually, been talking about that, just sort of trying to shorten the rallies, and that's what we just saw from Djokovic there. Went for an outright winner on the first serve, and it went out
from Medvedev.
Djokovic,
sorry, on the return. Yeah.
On the return. Well, surprising, half volley.
Oof. Again, bigger shot. You do sense Djokovic is hitting bigger shots than he was before, taking on more risk. The dynamic of the two kind of going offense Djokovic, defense Medvedev, which is what we saw in Astana, and that's why it was probably advantaged Medvedev for most of it.
Right, yeah. Do you get the feeling as well right now that Medvedev seems to be absolutely loving this right now? Seems to be quite enjoying himself out there.
For sure. It's his last match of the season, right? He's got absolutely nothing to lose. He'll be willing to extend this as long as possible.
Yeah.
Really thought Djokovic would win 2-love, but after he looked in the last set, I just don't. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all thinking that as well.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's just tough to see the motivation continuing for sure.
Yeah. Because I guess it's almost getting to the territory now where this match will actually become a factor for him tomorrow. He's been playing for over 2 hours. So yeah, unclear if he's going to be on at lunchtime or in the evening. But if he's playing Stefanos or Rublev, I think probably be more of a concern against Stefanos. But
it's of course. Remember, it said Djokovic against Fritz, right, Jamie? Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I've got it nailed down now after talking about it like 3 times earlier. Definitely got it now.
It's been a long afternoon as well.
That's it, of course, yeah. It's Djokovic, Fritz for sure, and then it'll be the winner of Stefan Rublev v. Ruud, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's it.
40-30, by the way, with some good quick points from Medvedev. So going against the grain of what I was saying there. Getting an extended rally now, though, and Medvedev trying to go a bit aggressive with his forehand. Again, not taking on too much risk. Djokovic with a backhand down the line that's going to give him no advantage. That was the wrong shot. He's saying something to his camp again, maybe just looking a little bit stumbly.
He is. He's doing that weird stumbly thing that he likes to do, doesn't he? That almost seems a bit contrived when he does that.
Yeah, that's kind of what Ghibli was touching on earlier, right? It's like it's maybe not acting, but it also, I don't know, he's maybe overplaying it a bit, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's clearly struggling a bit physically, but he's kind of quite keen on letting everybody know that as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like if he does retire, it would be like, oh, well, no surprise there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I really can't see I can't see us going the distance and going to a third set in this set, but we'll see.
Is that a third set tiebreak, you mean, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Has Djokovic even been broken? I don't think he has.
Don't think he has. No. It's only been the one break today, I think, isn't there?
And it was pretty early doors as well, right?
Yeah. Early in that first set.
Quite a few consecutive holds in a row.
Ghibli said he still thinks Djokovic could win, but is it worth it? Maybe psychologically it's better to not withdraw. I don't know the mindset of great sports people. Yeah, I guess neither do we, Ghibli, unfortunately. But I think, yeah.
Speak for yourself, Jimmy, of course. Yeah, it's tough to say. I don't think that it gives Fritz much of an advantage seeing. In fact, given the history between the two in that Australian Open match, Djokovic actually goes in with quite a pretty hefty advantage in that department, right? It doesn't matter how he goes in, injured or what. Fritz will be looking out for that for sure. That's been twice he had the same situation this year with Rafa, right, where he kind of took his foot off the gas a bit at Wimbledon and he ended up losing that match. Maybe Fritz not the best at dealing with that.
Is that Djokovic and Fritz's last match? Have they played since?
I can't recall them playing since. I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure that was their last match. Yeah. No, I agree, Ghibli. I think it's he certainly could still win, but at what cost now, really? Oh, they played at Rome as well. Don't remember that one, and they played at Paris as well, both last year. The one at Paris kind of rings a bell. It was 4-3, the classic Djokovic scoreline, as we say, 4-3 or 3-4. Djokovic holds there, so it's 2-1.
Yeah. I'm
just enjoying a Kit Kat now.
Oh, lovely. A regular Kit Kat or?
Just a regular Kit Kat, yeah. Not a chunky or anything like that. Would you rather, this is off the Kit Kat wrapper. Sorry to make this the content, I'll do it really quickly. Would you rather have to parallel park every time you go out or be caught in every single red light?
I don't actually drive, but I think from a partner drives, I think probably caught in a red light. Considering the strain that comes with parallel parking for us.
I'd go parallel parking, I think. It's not the worst in the world. Red lights are way more annoying. That's rubbish content. We did have I think we still got the Office lined up. Possibly is that?
I think he's going to play it.
Well, we're getting a shake of the head. I think we're getting a shake of the head.
Oh, you can see John, can you? He's shaking his head. Is that because it's not within the rules, or it's just
no, not enough time?
Not enough time.
I'll hear in a second.
Okay. Yeah. So, what are we at? It's 2-1 Djokovic. Or 2-1
Djokovic. No, 2-1 Djokovic. Yeah, and it's Medvedev serving in the next game.
No audio. Okay. Yeah, no worries, John. So, have you been to the ATP finals before, Jack? Did you get to go when it was in London?
I did not. I've not actually. No, I've not been before.
No.
There's a little bit of the Labour Cup about it in some ways. Pricey tickets for not a ton of matches and stuff like that. Yeah. You can get the same quality with a few points here or there at a 250 or even a challenger. People underrate challengers a lot of the time and don't realise the quality of the tennis you get there. Obviously, you get some really special moments, but at the same time, I'm enough of a tennis fan. I don't need to be shelling out tons of money to see a good match. I feel it's not really worth the ticket price.
Yeah. Fair enough. And as you say, even if you were to go to sort of Wimbledon, you could kind of queue for 20 quid, couldn't you, and see 3 or 4 really good matches.
Yeah, I did that this year, Jamie. It was unreal. It's so good. Wimbledon's such a good vibe. Just has this sort of magical feel about the grounds and stuff like that. And you can go and watch any match you like, bar the court matches. It's incredible. It's really good.
Yeah, it's working, John. We can't hear it. So what was the best match you saw there, Jack, this year? Oh, you saw Murray, isn't it, didn't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was the best match because of the result. I'd probably give it to Brody Schwartzman.
You was there for that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, definitely. There you go. Ghibli saying there is affordable ticket prices, actually. Fair enough. £50 is decent, I guess. But you only see the one match. Is that not right, Ghibli?
One doubles as well, I think.
Oh, one doubles, yeah. You get the afternoon and the evening session.
Yeah.
Whereas 27 quid to go to Wimbledon and see as many matches as you like for the day. Yeah, that's definitely more worth it. And that the indoor setting as well is nowhere near as magical as Wimbledon, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, no, it's got a completely different vibe. But still, when I went a couple of times, I enjoyed it just because it was so different, I guess, to sort of going to Wimbledon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, one moment.
That's I blinked and I missed it. 2 very easy service points from Medvedev there just to get the hold to get to 2-2. So the buck is back with Djokovic. Toss going around now as well for Djokovic. The ball toss getting thrown up and being caught again.
Just bear with me 1 second, sorry, Jack.
No worries, Jamie. Go ahead. Medvedev covering the wide serve again, maybe expecting this serve and volley. Medvedev pulling his arms up there, clearly expecting the serve to have been called out. I think he's challenging. Yes. Oh, I see. It was the baseline shot was called out. It was out, so fair enough. Does this equal the distance, says Logan?
I don't think it does go the distance. I don't know about you.
No, I don't think it does either. Although Novak's been all right so far. Although Medvedev hasn't given him the level just to take advantage so far. There's been a few loose points on returns, and that just made a massive difference to Djokovic getting a few easy holds on the board. Like here's a good example. First serve missed. If Medvedev isn't able to extend this rally, I would say that was a cheap point because at the moment you should be looking to put the hammer down and just lock Novak in. There you go. So Novak goes for a backhand inside out that absolutely wasn't on and misses it by a mile. So stuff like that, you wouldn't expect Novak to come through this third set.
No.
If Medvedev can take advantage with a few high quality points.
If Medvedev basically continues what he's doing now, right, playing sort of quite low percentage tennis, I guess, and the
high percentage. High percentage?
High percentage.
High percentage, yeah.
High percentage, sorry. Yeah.
Low risk, right?
Low risk, high percentage,
yeah, that's it. Second serve out wide from Djokovic. Djokovic with a forehand that drops short, goes for a drop shot that's not on, looking really, really tired now. 15-30. That's 2 points in a row that he's just bailed out of.
Logan's addressing you, Jack, I think. So been very complimentary about your tennis knowledge and experience.
Thanks very much, Logan. Yeah, I coach as well. I coach at a couple of clubs in Glasgow, and I've just been studying the game for the last 2 years, basically doing stuff like this, dissecting matches and that. So it helps a bit, definitely. Nothing special though, Logan. Just watch a lot of tennis, basically.
I'm not feeling left out, Gibby. No, I can kind of surrender to Jack's superior expertise on the technical side. Do you coach adults or children, Jack?
Both, Jamie. Right. Yeah. Some juniors and the odd adult class as well. Bit of cardio tennis too.
Oh, nice. Okay, I've never played cardio tennis, but I'm planning on doing that in the next few weeks.
Everybody's a fan, definitely, Jamie.
Yeah,
Just takes getting them on court for it. Yeah, 2 serving volleys in a row from Djokovic to close out that game.
Nice.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Can hear you,
Yes,
John. Yeah.
can John. Yes. Hello.
Let's try. I keep trying, but I think it's no sound. But let's try with me in the stream. Okay, let's try.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
No.
Oh well, I'll play it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Well, if you can see it, that's at least half of the game.
That's a shame not to hear, isn't it? Because it's very funny with the office theme tune in the background.
I'm going to watch it afterwards for sure. I think the screen's black now. Huh?
It's from the. I retweeted, but it's from the tennis channel.
Okay.
Is it playing at the moment, John?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's
got it?
working now. Yeah, it's working
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Can you hear it as well?
No.
Can't hear it.
There you go.
The Tsitsipas one is the one that made me laugh the most.
I like them all. Yeah, Tsitsipas is funny. I like this cheeky look from Felix in the mirror as well.
I know, yeah. It's like the actual Office opening credits start with Jim Halpert looking at the camera at one point. So it's
exactly.
In tribute to that.
Good.
It's funny.
All right, let's get back to the match, and I'll speak to you soon. I'll probably dip in as well at the next changeover and do a semi-promo for the matches of the year.
Cool.
Cheers,
Sounds good, John.
Thank you. He'll be coming in there, Jackson, that you could coach Raducanu. Maybe you'd have a bit more success than some of her previous coaches, right? Stay a bit longer.
I think I'd probably make a year's salary with the 7 days on the job before getting fired, right? So I think, I'd take the gig for sure.
Really strange, isn't it, what's been going on there? How long did Tursunov last? He lasted...
I think a month or maybe a month first, month or two. I think it was a wee while, but yeah, still obviously not that long in the average lifespan of a tennis coach on the tour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wry smile from Medvedev there. I don't know, maybe just because he flatly drop shotted Djokovic. I'm not sure, but Djokovic looking a bit miffed. When
he smiles, his kind of right lip just sort of rises, and the rest of his mouth sort of stays the same.
There we go. Medvedev with the drive volley there, and then a great overhead finish. That looked, I don't know if it looked easy to some people, but it was a very, very difficult shot.
That was difficult. Yeah. Even I sort of know that kind of going backwards. That's really difficult, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, really hard. Had to get it perfect.
Yeah, Talking Tennis is saying that John said Raducanu goes through coaches like Trump with press secretaries, or even Britain with prime ministers, I guess, as well.
Yeah, oh goodness. To be clear, we don't condone any political comparisons to Emma Raducanu because she's an otherwise extremely lovely person.
Yeah,
I'm sure she is. Just can't deal with a coach, right? It's still a bit bizarre. We don't quite know the whole story, but
no, yeah, it's a strange one. Kibley's saying Djokovic might do a Mazzetti and retire for the fans. So Logan, I think he's referring to when they played at the French Open, right? And Mazzetti was 2 sets up.
Yeah.
Djokovic came back to 2 sets all, and was he maybe 4-5 love up in the fifth set? And Mazzetti decided to retire then.
It was literally 6-1, 6 love, 4 love, I think, in the last 3 sets. And in fairness, Mazzetti was completely gone. Djokovic isn't completely gone here. As I say, he can still dip into his serve and volley playbook to win the odd point. He's actually just nailed a forehand on the line there. That's won him the point pretty much to get himself 15 love up. So he's actually still playing really high quality short point aggressive tennis, which he can do.
Yeah.
Logan's not familiar with that actually. It was Ghibli that had talked about the Mazzetti retirement. To be fair.
Yeah. So we're coming up for the. Sorry.
I was just gonna say great return from Medvedev there to get into an extended rally as Djokovic just pushes a backhand wide to go to 15-0.
15-0. Coming up to the 2.5 hour mark as well. I mean, I would not have predicted that this match would have gone on for this length of time.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. There's the clip. There's the clip of him shaking. Yeah.
First serve down the tee from Djokovic, unreturnable. He could still win this match playing at, I guess, what we'd call about 50%.
Yeah. And I guess we'd say Djokovic is playing more. Well, he's playing kind of higher risk tennis, but there still seems to be an element of kind of control as well when he does it, right?
Definitely, yeah. He glued a forehand to the sideline earlier. And again, there we go. There's another just sprayed forehand inside out on the +1 shot.
Yeah. He may have picked up the flu. Possibly. I really hope he doesn't end up having to pull out tomorrow as well. That would be a big shame.
Ghibli stirring the pot there. Big serving volley from Djokovic. Oh, Medvedev missed it. He's got his head in his hands because he does know he should have made that.
Oh, yeah, he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, great pickup from Djokovic, to be fair.
That's was.
Hours and hours of playing that game that Djokovic plays. I don't know if you've seen that, where you hit it on the same side of the court as yourself, and then the second bounce has to go in the service box.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Okay, well, he plays that with, you see videos of him playing that with Dimitrov, actually, is one of the ones you should look up.
Okay.
But that's what gives them all that feel at the net and stuff, and the half volleys in that. 40-30, second serve. Will we see another sprayed forehand on the serve +1? It's now a second serve, sorry. He got a late in the first serve.
Yep. Feels like he won't want to go. He won't want to go to Juice, right? So I think
he double faulted, actually. There you go, Jamie.
Oh, it's double fault. So we go to Juice.
Do tennis players play harder when breaking puts them at serving for a match/set? I see. I know what you mean. Like, do they want to raise their level when it's deeper in the set? Yeah, that definitely tends to happen. The main component a lot of the time, Logan, that makes players look like they're playing harder or extending rallies is new balls. Because as soon as they come out with a new tin of balls, its service holds are a lot easier and short points are a lot easier. About 3 or 4, 5 games into that, the balls are a lot slower, and that tends to come nearer the latter stages of sets a lot of the time. Although it sometimes doesn't work out like that, but that can be the case. So it does make digging at the end of a set a little bit easier than at the start of a set a lot of the time.
Yeah, good question. And I guess that, just to see this point play out, Djokovic takes it 4-3. Yeah, and I guess that's certainly the kind of the aim, isn't it? You know, to kind of to build up until you sort of gradually peak at the end of a set.
For sure, yeah. Depends on the conditions, obviously, you know, as well. There's loads of factors that come into play a lot of the time. Yeah. Most players are looking for a repeatable, comfortable tactic or strategy for themselves to pull off.
Guys, you can take 60 seconds while I just promote the fact that we're going to be having on the channel in December a review of matches of the year, including this one.
Iconic trophy, legendary evening, a night for history. Here we are at the Rod Laver Arena, the final match of this year's Australian Open. Twilight here in Melbourne, another beautiful day, a warm day, and so much to savour, of course, ahead of what is one of the hardest matchups for both of these two players in tonight's final. Daniil Medvedev up against Rafael Nadal.
In the final of a slam, it's not enough to just be normal. You need to be the better version of yourself. You need to do everything at 200%.
And it's delight for Daniil, 3-2. just misses its target as Medvedev hones in on his, which is the opening set. Double break to the good, 5-2. Relentless from the Russian, 6-2 opening set in this year's Australian Open men's final. And it's been an opening hour that has been very much to the Russians' advantage at the moment.
Oh my goodness. That is a shocker from Rafa.
Well, it's a rare occurrence, isn't it? His overhead is so safe. A strange thing.
That is truly majestic from Medvedev. What a way to finish the second set. And at 2 sets to love up, he looks like he's going to be a worthy winner here in Melbourne as well. That is a long way back for Rafa.
Sport is unpredictable, and if you fight till the end, I just wanted to give me a chance, and that's what I did. Just fight, just keep belief on trying to find a solution.
Well, Rafa's strengths are everything, intensity, physical, mental power.
Scintillating shot from the Spaniard. This crowd isn't just living every point, it's living every shot. Remarkable from Rafa. Medvedev leads by 2 sets to 1.
I was repeating to myself during the whole match. I lost a lot of times here, having chances. Sometimes I was a little bit unlucky, so I just wanted to keep believing till the end.
To a 5th we go. What an incredible night of drama. Absolutely astonishing recovery here from Rafa. Never seen, never heard anything like it. That is the best shot he has ever hit.
We're back. Guys, let's get back to this match because it's getting into a pretty tense moment. Let's have you back on the screen as well.
Thank you, John.
Oh, I'm back again. There we go.
Yep. That was great hearing that.
I guess you're quite hyped.
Hype for the show.
We've just missed a unreturnable, by the way, from Medvedev on break point. This is such a weird match, honestly. Djokovic so he's hanging his head at every other point like he's done something wrong, and then comes out with a worldie in the next point.
He seems so conflicted, right, with what he sort of wants to. I don't know. I'm surprised anyway at how kind of seriously he has taken this in the end.
Advantage Medvedev at 4-3 down. Hopefully to get himself to 4-all. Goes for a huge second serve. Was that a second serve? I don't know, 201 kilometre an hour second serve. He missed one. He definitely missed. He's smiling to himself, so I think it was.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, just going for broke. Why not?
We're flagging, I think, a bit like Djokovic, Jack.
Yeah. I did see. I saw a first serve. I wondered if it clipped the net though as well. That was all. But no, he's smiling to himself. I'm pretty sure it was a second serve.
Yeah.
It's weird because Djokovic is still a good enough player to rattle through service game. This is what he does to people. That's the thing. He's good enough at holding serve that even when he's playing below average, he can put the ball in any position he wants so precisely that he can rattle through service games and accidentally win the match in a situation like this. You know what I mean? Like he's going for big second serves as well. Big slider out wide there. Medvedev just having a little look at where the ball landed there. He isn't convinced. I think he's had a good enough look at it to know that it was wide.
Yeah, it looked long, and there it is. It's long. Or wide, sorry.
Wide, yeah. Yeah, there you go. The replay there. A little bit of a gap between the sideline and the ball.
Yeah.
Djokovic with a serve +1. Yeah, enough to force the error. should just fast forward right to the tiebreak. I mean,
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I certainly said at the start, there's no chance this is going to a tiebreak, but yeah, this match has continued to sort of defy our expectations, I think, and our predictions.
it's weird. I almost feel Djokovic's kind of lack of intensity in some ways, like as he comes forward for a serve and volley out of nowhere, gives Medvedev an easy pass, and it's now 30-15. It's just, strange. It's kind of, he sapped the life a little bit out of the match.
Yeah.
We had a very much a live rubber in the second tiebreak. It's kind of gone back on life support.
Yeah. I wonder if it might kind of be resuscitated if it goes to a third set breaker.
Yeah, I would say, I'd say so. I think the analogy continues into a third set tiebreak there, definitely. Second serve for Djokovic. Again, I've not seen... Well, to be fair, Djokovic isn't giving Medvedev much of a chance to extend the rallies because all of his risk that he's taken on is paying off overall. You might be a bit ahead. Yeah, sprayed forehand.
I'll just pause it a tiny bit if I can, yeah.
No, it's okay. I might be able to I can fast forward, actually, Jamie. I was just 10 seconds behind.
Okay.
So I'm now just looking at Djokovic coming up for a first serve now at 30-all. Talk through it. First serve out wide. Medvedev's onto it. Back behind Medvedev for probably one of the first times in the match. I've not seen that play that often.
No. When Daniil Medvedev has served over 70%. Oh, it's just gone off. I think Mark Petchy had put something up. When Medvedev has served over 70% of his first serves on a hard court, the only match he has lost is versus Novak in Astana. Wow. Yeah, well, I guess.
First serves have been a problem for Daniil this year, putting them in the court. So that's obviously shows he's raised his level for this match. Generally does against Novak, to be fair. But obviously, he must have been feeling this one if he's putting that many first serves in the court, given it's been a recurring problem for him throughout the year. Medvedev in lockdown possibly gets a slice to work with, slices down the line to Novak's forehand aggressive enough to give him a backhand that's aggressive. Djokovic absorbs. Medvedev can't capitalise, goes for a dip. Backhand down the line that's smooth as butter.
Lovely. Djokovic doing that, I think he does when he loses an extended rally.
Looking like he's 70 years old or so.
Exactly. That's a lovely backhand down the line, so we're at deuce. Ghibli says he still can't work out if the fans care who wins this. What are also we can't hear it. Where have the fans kind of who have they been sort of cheering for more today?
Okay, I imagine they'll be fairly indifferent would be my guess.
Yeah, 50-50, John's saying. Okay. Well, Logan's cheering on Medvedev. We got one.
I'm probably cheering on Medvedev as well. As I say, just to notch one more in there head-to-head, right?
Yeah. It feels like that's like it's 7-5, would it?
Make it 7-5, but 5-all 2019 onwards.
Right, yeah, we're scratching the first two.
Yeah. Fair's fair. 2017, Medvedev was just breaking through.
Yeah, that sounds fair. That's it's a big point, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of points, a lot of shots to absorb there. Djokovic with great defense out wide, actually, considering his condition. Slices to Medvedev's backhand. Medvedev sends it down the line with aplomb there, but can't pull off the forehand. And it's advances Djokovic.
He's hit it long. That's like with the Tsitsipas and Medvedev matchup. I think there's it seems slightly kind of Medvedev won the first 5, I think, and then it's been pretty much even since then.
Yeah, exactly. It's back to it is now at like 8. No, I can't remember off the top of my head. Actually, 7-4 maybe rings a bell.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I think.
Well, that's also Novak and Medvedev, and I'm second guessing that, but close to that maybe.
Can we get 12 more subscribers by the end of this stream? Well, the way this match is going, John, we might get more than that. Hopefully we can.
Big first serve from Novak. Actually, no, it's fairly tame. Second serve, though, as he misses it into the net. Gasping for breath a little bit again in between serves. Second serve to the Medvedev backhand. easy as you like rally to start, just trading backhands cross court. Neither player changing direction yet. In a stalemate here. Novak trying to add a little bit of pace to give himself the forehand. Oh my god. Forehands of Shanghai Delpo there. I don't know if you know that match, Jamie, but it was a match Djokovic had against Delpo where he could barely keep his balance every forehand. If you've not seen it, oh my god, you gotta watch it.
Look that up. Wow.
It's absolutely it's one of the most bizarre things you'll ever see in tennis. Djokovic just looking like he's gonna fall over every single shot he hits. This can happen when he's feeling a little bit lackluster. There we go. There's Gibby saying liking that famous video against
yeah. There we go. And he's coming. Oh, I think that was just out for Medvedev.
Yeah, Jesus.
God, this game's been a bit Titanic as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
See, 6 minutes. It does seem like the intensity's risen there, but rallies are starting to be extended, aren't they?
Yeah, you just don't. I mean, Djokovic has been keeping up in some departments, but then, serves like that, where he's almost fallen off the serve to push it to the left, forehands into the bottom of the net. It's been a very up and down one from him. It feels very strange.
Yeah.
I agree with Ghibli, though. He's saying a subpar intensity Novak is doing well. You're right, I would say, and it's just the odd point where he's just losing it a little bit. They're in an extended rally now. It'll be interesting to see if it's an unforced error from Novak or if it's a play from Daniil that if it does, Medvedev does win the point. Big forehand cross court from Daniil. Too much for Djokovic, which sends him putting his hands on his knees again.
Back to juice. Here we go.
Almost limping a little bit, maybe.
Well, I guess he's lost the points, so it's not surprising that he's going to be doing that. John's asking in which year that was. Jack?
I think it might have been prior to him playing Andy in the final, so 2012, I want to say.
Okay.
That is an educated guess, though.
He actually won in the end.
He did. He lost. He beat Andy from 5 match points. Having saved 5 match points in the final. Maybe I'm doubting myself now. It was around then, 2012 or 2013.
All right.
Looks like that's been written in 2022. It says.
Obviously,
it wasn't this year, but all I can see is 2022. Oh no, that's today's date. Never mind.
Let me have a look. Djokovic, Del Potro.
He won. He definitely won. John. Right. He won the match. Still won the match, even though he was falling over every other shot.
2013, it's saying here, I think.
See, that was close. I knew it was one or the other.
Yeah.
Djokovic, by the way, getting to advantage with another serve and volley play. Second serve on the ad court. Been struggling on this side a bit. Goes into Medvedev forehand and immediately sprays a forehand long and wide.
God, the match is definitely very much on Novak's racket, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of feel Daniil's going to get through his service games more reliably than Djokovic playing like this. So you're right. Still could go to a tiebreak though.
Yeah. I kind of hope it does now.
Yeah, for the drama.
Yeah, we had a great tiebreak, didn't we, on Wednesday evening? Tsitsipas and Medvedev. The first one. I think we've spoken about that already. Yeah,
of course, yeah. And we had Medvedev Rublev too. That's cool, actually, because if Medvedev does go to another third-set tiebreak, that'll be third in a row at the ATP finals.
Yeah, wow. I wonder if that's... Well, we wouldn't be able to find out, but I wonder if that's been done before. Seems like quite a niche...
it does, it does. I would make a bet that it hasn't been done before. It does seem unlikely.
Yeah.
Another advantage to Djokovic. I missed the juice point there, sorry.
Me too.
Does have a second. He's barely made a first serve here in the ad court. It seems to be working with second serve the whole time. Second serve out wide to maybe the backhand. Djokovic with a lackluster forehand tries to push the backhand deep, but it goes long. Is that possibly you there, Jamie? Don't know. I'm just getting a bit of feedback from myself. Could be.
I don't think so.
Could be John, possibly.
I
I don't know.
Oh,
No,
still getting
no,
it?
it's not yourself, John. Actually,
are you still getting it, Jack?
yeah, it could be from you, Jamie, or it could be from me, but I don't know where it would be coming from.
I haven't got any sound on. I don't know how. Let's have a look.
It's not a problem. I can concentrate through it, but if the listeners are hearing myself twice, then that'd be an issue. So, listeners, if you can hear a bit of feedback from me, let me know. It is breakpoint Medvedev though, so I'll talk through it anyway. Power through. Is there any defense to that super wide serving volley? Yeah, Logan, Medvedev just needs to keep the ball really low in the court, and even then, he's not guaranteed to win the point. It's tough if Djokovic hits the spot. Serve down the tee from Djokovic gives him a short ball, and yeah, he's never going to make a mistake on that one.
One moment, sorry, Jack. I just need to try and sort this out. 1 second.
No worries. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it was Jamie's computer, I think. That's me just hearing the one of myself, which is more than enough. Juice for Djokovic as he saves the break point. The easier of the two sides for him to be holding serve from at the moment. We'll see if he goes for another wide one. Medvedev creeping to the tee actually and covers it. No, too much from the serve plus one from Djokovic there though, as he finishes that off with a great inside out forehand. Medvedev did everything he could there without giving away exactly what he was doing because he was creeping very close to the tee. Was Djokovic out? No, it was in. By not even a millimetre. First serve from Djokovic out wide. Doesn't quite hit his spot though as he looks for the serve and volley. Another second serve from the advantage court. How many missed serves in a row has that been from the ad court? First serves, I should say. Second serve from Djokovic going into the Medvedev forehand. Doesn't graft himself much of an advantage though, and we're back to neutral again in these extended rallies. It's been more difficult for Djokovic to break through than Medvedev, who's happy to rally for days. There we go, Jamie. That's the. Oh wait, maybe not quite actually.
Is it not finished? Has it not solved it?
No, yeah, no, not at all. I'm not sure where that is. It won't be coming out of your computer, I don't think.
So you're still getting feedback. What if I take the headphones out? 1 second.
Let me see if I can hear myself now.
Can you hear yourself?
Maybe a little bit, but nothing like before. Actually, it's better. Okay. No, that's good. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. I think. Yeah, that's fine.
That's strange that happened because it was fine before then. It's been okay. I didn't change anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I don't think it was my end, but at seventh juice in this game, by the way, Jamie.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Medvedev's almost having to guess where the serve's going in the juice court. It seems like he's making the right call most of the time. But again, a serve and volley from Djokovic, almost unplayable, as Medvedev forced to take a hand off the racket on the stretch there to get to the drop volley, and doesn't make it in the court, of course.
Crikey, this is an epic game. 14 minutes. And it's just all the more remarkable, the sort of situation we're in where Djokovic doesn't have to win this match.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why he's clinging on, but stubbornness, I guess. Goes for a backhand down the line and pushes it long, so we're back to juice.
We're back to juice.
Just had the one break point in the ad court, by the way, so it's imperative for Medvedev that he wins a point in this juice court rather than the ad court where he's winning the most of the points. Djokovic struggling to put first serves in the court there. Again, it'll be interesting to see if Medvedev creeps over to one side. I think he'll be expecting the wide serve again, although Djokovic has been mixing it up really well. It's kind of hard for me to call, as it will be for Daniil too. Djokovic with a first serve out wide. Medvedev was privy to it. Tries to go for the serve +1 down the line with the forehand, but he pushes it long, so we're on break point.
They got break point. And Medvedev has a point to serve for it. Even Djokovic's team are looking a bit perplexed, aren't they?
Yeah, just general concern. It's not looking happy in the Novak camp.
No. It's almost like this is the last match of the year for Novak, and he's like pushing himself to the limit.
I know, yeah. There we go. So finally, There's a first serve from Novak down the tee. He does
anyway.
make it, but yeah, he pushes the serve +1 wide. So
the one time he makes a first serve there, it follows up with an unforced error.
finally, as well, Jamie, I'll add, that's the first break of the match for Medvedev.
Wow, yeah. Nearly 3 hours in, right?
Yeah.
Crikey.
After 8 juices, finally got it.
Medvedev serving for the match, so yeah. But what happened when he served for the match against Tsitsipas? Of course, it didn't quite go according to plan for him.
Yeah, he's just got a little bit of a lack of efficiency this year in moments like that. It's not a guarantee he does get through, and you sensed that in the Tsitsipas match as well. Just nothing really came easy for him.
Yeah. I guess today pressure's off a bit more, so may make that a bit easier. But
interesting there. Set one, 61% topspin from Novak's backhand. Sets 2 and 3, 82% from topspin from Novak's backhand rather than slice, I should say. So for me, it's weird they put set 2 in there. I wonder if that's also as high a percentage, but I've not seen him slice much in this set. And I would imagine that's because he doesn't want the rallies to go on for too long. And the slice obviously is more of a setter-upper for another shot than an offensive shot generally.
I was going to say that, Jack. So I guess that sort of indicates that it's playing more aggressively, does it, as well? Sort of using more topspin compared to less slice.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah. Logan saying Tsitsipas wins the finals. Well, I mean, looking at Djokovic here, it'd be him.
Yeah, no, I definitely am going to read into that. I would say Novak can rally in the space of a day very easily.
He'll be fine tomorrow, won't he?
Yeah, we've seen him do it time and time again. I don't, it might not affect him at all. He's not guaranteed to beat Fritz, this is like the ideal conditions for Taylor Fritz, who could just rattle through one too many service games for Novak and squeak it into tie breaks. It's possible for him to do. Anybody's got a chance. Well, not anybody's got a chance. I think Fritz has got a good enough backhand to live with Djokovic, whereas Casper Ruud, maybe not as good a matchup for him. He still gives himself a chance. Every player here is a good enough server and finisher off of a service point, basically, to give themselves a chance against Novak. But yeah, Fritz is one of the better players. It's not a guarantee. Definitely.
Yeah.
One of the better players matchup-wise, I should say. They're all good players, obviously, but for facing Novak. Love 15, Jamie.
Love 15, yeah. How do you see the other, if it's Tsitsipas comes through, how do you see that going against Ruud, Jack?
We didn't talk about that, did we? That's a tough one to call. Probably Steph has most of the advantages, I would say. He's just covering his serve a little bit better than Ruud. And to be fair, Rafa's just not a nice matchup for Ruud. That's why he ended up losing that. I think Tsitsipas has been playing well enough from both wings that the backhand doesn't look like much of a weakness in here, given he can cover it most of the time with his serve +1. I don't want to underrate Ruud because he's already shown us by getting to the semis for a second consecutive year that he's here and he means business. But I think Tsitsipas has looked great, so I'll give him the edge. It's love 30, by the way.
Love 30, I know, and it's a second serve, right?
Yep, yeah. So they're in an extended rally at the moment. Djokovic slicing for the first time in a while. Medvedev with a great response down the line though. That shot he just played there off a slice with a flat backhand to send it down the line like that. That's so hard. So that was a very, very nice shot under pressure there.
Yeah. I was going to say Djokovic looked like he's sort of buzzing around the court a bit again there, but very smart play.
He couldn't have called that. For Medvedev to play over the highest part of the net down the line with his flat backhand off a slice, super impressive. Super impressive. Is that a double fault though? It's not. Daniil.
No.
Daniil.
It is. Wow.
Oh my God, Gio Savara must be so tired of this season. Seriously, it's an absolute joke.
The ghost of Wednesday night coming back and haunting him. Here we go.
15-40 for not really much reason. Big first serve out wide, not enough though to give him any advantage. Djokovic suddenly with a new lease of life on the backhand and the forehand there. Daniil on the run a little bit, has to defend off the forehand, has to defend. There's no way he wins the point from here. Djokovic has got it. Yep, with a drop volley. And it's 5-all.
Wow. I mean, not only did he break, he broke so comfortably. That was so bizarre.
Oh my god! Right, it's getting to that point where I'm going to need some more light in the room. Just give me a second.
Yeah. Go for it. I think I might do the same afterwards. Daniil didn't get his first serve completely failed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the problem I alluded to 2.5 hours ago or so for Daniil this season has been how many first serves he's been making, particularly under pressure. So that was a few ghosts of this season coming back to haunt him a bit there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep in mind that was only the second break for... No, the third break of the match, sorry.
Third, yeah, Novak second.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So the second and third coming back-to-back at the end of the third set.
Yeah, so we're at 5-1. I mean, I really couldn't call this now. I think this is, yeah.
Great backhand from Medvedev, gets himself a short ball. Weird play. No, yeah, to be fair, he covered that well. Played a strange sort of approach shot from on a short ball, but was back quick enough to get the overhead. Obviously, being 6'6" helps there.
Absolutely. Break back again.
Do you see Djokovic's face there? Just did a little... I don't know what that was.
He's doing that kind of like thing that he does as well again now. Look, where it's like I can't even move, and then he'll be sipping and sliding around the court in a moment.
Is he? Oh my god, what is he doing? He's like stumbling to get the ball. He's like gasping for air.
It's a tough watch, isn't it, at the moment?
It's weird. Yeah, it's super strange. Misses another first serve in the ad court. I honestly think he's made about one in the last possibly 10 or 11 points in the ad court for first serves. So really struggling on that side. Second serve out wide, absorbed by Medvedev. They are trading down the middle at the moment, not really either player taking any offense on. There we go, Djokovic for a bigger forehand. Medvedev absorbs. And then Djokovic pushes the backhand wide. Quite happy just to absorb all day.
Yeah. God. I did not expect to still be here at 4 o'clock, Jack. Did you?
No, neither did I. It's leaving me with quite a weird feeling actually, because it's quite hard to analyze and quite hard to. Well, I mean, I can analyze it, I guess, but it's quite hard to feel something about it, I guess. I've got no idea what's going on with Novak. It's a 7 volley here.
What's he saying?
Yeah, no idea.
He almost looked like he wanted to kind of let out like a roar to say, come on, and then he realised there's no point because it doesn't actually really matter that much.
Yeah, there's nothing at stake. Even if it's just like, why are you still out there, Novak? What is going on?
God.
How many points is it? Because I know the WTA finals was a 250 points for a win, which is absurd, by the way. It's an insanely large amount of points. I don't know if it's the same. I guess it kind of is, because as an unbeaten champion, right, you get 1,500 points.
You get 1,500. That's true.
Yeah, so it's kind of equivalent to 250 points.
Yeah. Well, I guess if he wins the final, he gets 500, right?
Yes.
So I guess this is worth 1,000 points to him. I guess this match, if he was to win the title.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I suppose you still get. I think you still get 1,250, even if you won the title and didn't win this match, you'd still get 1,250. I think, right. Jamie, pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense actually, because cumulatively, great. Nice drop volley there.
It is, Medvedev with a little bit of anger to let out there.
And then a little smirk as well. Mohamed Layani's probably like, God, had some lunch plans in Turin this afternoon that have had to be scuppered.
Mohamed Layani's been there, done that, right? He must be a professional camel at this point, just living off his own. I mean, he's sat there for like 6 hours at a time sometimes, right? So
yeah, that's true. Medvedev sits down at 40:30 to change his trainers. It's been that sort of match, isn't it?
Yeah, laces have come off.
Crikey.
Shades of Tsitsipas there. Djokovic is just sitting on the... Oh my God. It's all happening, man. It is all happening.
Shoelace gate. If Daniil can break after this, yeah. It's got a bit of a ring to it, hasn't it? Shoelace gate.
It does. What is going on? Djokovic just taking on the role of line judge now as he waits for Medvedev to get back on court.
He's certainly not hurrying up Medvedev either.
No, he's taking his time.
Just gonna flash a light on. There we go.
Where's Leander Paes when you need him? Can you elaborate on that, Ghibli? I don't know a Leander Paes shoelace story. But I'd love to hear one if there is one. It's all about Tsitsipas for me, of course. And oh no, we had the Zverev one as well, right? Against Andy in Cincinnati, I think, last year.
Yeah.
That was a huge one.
That was. And then the toilet gate, which you're going to say as well, Tsitsipas and Andy.
Yes, yeah. There was some shoes involved there as well, right? When Andy's shoes just gave way halfway through the second set tiebreak.
Yeah. Didn't Leander? Yeah.
I was going to say, we're back to the tennis now. Djokovic gets an unreturnable for a hold.
Back to sit down. It's 6-5.
Didn't Leander do some Tsitsipas shoelacing somewhere?
Oh, I don't remember that. I'm not sure.
I haven't heard anything about that. I know that Mark Philippoussis is part of the Tsitsipas coaching team, but I didn't know Leander Paes was part of the shoelacing team for Tsitsipas. That's it.
Okay.
6-5, yeah, we should establish now. Medvedev. Medvedev hold. Yeah, Jesus. A Medvedev hold would take us to a third consecutive third set tiebreak for Medvedev in this tournament.
Which sounds unprecedented, but we don't know for sure.
It sounds I'm sure it's not unprecedented in any tournament, but I mean, I can't recall a time when anybody's done that.
No.
Because the most amazing comeback stat I know, Jamie, is Tommy Robredo won 3 consecutive matches from 2-love down in sets at the French Open in 2013 once. Yeah, that's about as bizarre as it gets.
Wow, that's that's pretty big to do it 3 times in a row. But yeah, I mean three tie breaks as well, especially here. I don't know. It's I mean Medvedev would have been on court for. Be interesting to find out his total time on court.
Yeah, you're quite right. It could be pushing 9 hours now. The Rublev one might have been quite relatively quite quick, but I think the Tsitsipas one went on for ages.
It did, yeah. I think that was a bit less than this. It was just under 3 hours, I think, because I was on that one as well. So I'm the marathon man, I think, of this of this tournament as well on the commentary. So I think this one's just gone over that one.
So you've been here for every Medvedev match?
No, I was on there for the Tsitsipas Medvedev.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, cause I did the Rublev one. Now I'm saying that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So between us, we've had Medvedev tie breaks covered.
We have, yeah. So I can tell you in the Rublev one, Medvedev was terrible. I don't know how it was in the Tsitsipas. Well, I do actually. I saw it, but I'll take your take on it, Jamie. What did you think?
In the final set of the Tsitsipas one, he wasn't good at all, was he, in the final one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he wasn't. He also went off the boil there a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. So both third set tie breaks. He's not been good. We might not get there though. Medvedev nets backhand there, love 15.
Oh, this has been weird.
Very weird. Yeah, as you say, I don't know if it's the beans on toast or whether it's this match. I'm feeling a bit weird as well.
Needed brown sauce in the beans and toast, I think, Jamie.
Yeah, I think so.
Second serve for Medvedev here at love 15. Don't double fault, Daniil. Could have been actually. Oh no, it was caught the line. I'd be interested to see how much that caught the line by.
I think it did. But do you think Novak was caught off guard by the length of it, perhaps as well?
Yeah, definitely. It was a pretty risky second serve.
Yeah.
Another second serve here in the adjust court. Big serve out wide. Medvedev with a forehand cross court to keep himself in the driving seat. All absorbed by Djokovic though. Medvedev tries to work the point with some backhands cross court. Djokovic with the same out wide. That was a bit too much for Medvedev to change direction on. 15-30.
15-30.
What is the reaction there if Medvedev loses this match? I just like... I don't know. I would like to see him laughing with Novak at the net, but I really don't know.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to take it okay. I think.
It's a bit. Oh, there we go. Easy. Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus!
You just about moved that, right?
It was in. But
Oh.
that was. It made that way less safe than it needed to be.
Yeah. He took the ball on really in a really strange technique he used there. Right?
I just sort of like did that with it, right? It kind of blocked it into play. And aced it down the tee, though. There we go.
Pinned that serve. So now we are 1 point away from another third set tiebreak for Daniil and a second tiebreak in this match.
I will go back on the Rublev one, actually. Now I'm saying that. I was saying terrible thinking about the Tsitsipas one without realising that the Rublev one was a little bit better. But that's a better. I think it was 7-5 actually. Now I'm saying that, but it's a better matchup for sure. The Tsitsipas one, or I guess Rublev playing a little worse than Tsitsipas, and Tsitsipas just putting the hammer down, didn't miss at all, which is
And I think Medvedev was still reading from having served for the match as well in that time.
Of course.
I guess we're in a similar situation today, but probably slightly easier to get over for him.
Yeah. Tonight. Who do you both think wins the decider? I haven't a clue, Logan. I don't know. I'll say Medvedev, but
okay, I'm going to go Djokovic then. I just think that, as Ghibli referred to earlier, Medvedev hasn't been able to put him away in this set, despite Djokovic being just quite up and down. Quite a weird performance from Djokovic. He's still here. I'm going to go for him.
I like to see what Daniil's got to say about going to 3 third set tie breaks. He's normally got normally got quite a funny perspective on everything he does.
Probably say something like only legends do that or something.
Yeah, exactly. I never seen that. Medvedev scoreline is exactly the same, right? For Tsitsipas. And then it's almost identical for Rublev as well. Went to a tiebreak that Medvedev won, 6-3 set, and then the opponent won the final set. Oh, I didn't see that, Jamie. It's 2-love.
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah, he just sort of Djokovic lobbed it up in the air, and Medvedev went for the sort of cross-court volley, sort of over his shoulder, but went wide.
That sounds ropey.
A hard shot.
Yeah, tough. That's true. Ghibli saying Djokovic 7-4 again.
Not that prediction again, Ghibli. Okay, I'm going for. God, I'm going to go Djokovic 7-5 again. Look at that. Are you going 9-7, Jack?
I'll start with 9-7. It's been that weird. I think why not? See some big points.
Yeah.
Djokovic lands a first serve in the ad court for the first time in a while.
And he doesn't miss that one.
Yeah, and gets a Djoko smash, but he puts it in the court.
Nice. So he's at 3-1.
I love that the tennis world collective always thinks Djoko smash as soon as the ball is bunted up for an overhead for Novak. Must be all he's thinking as well, surely.
Yeah.
3-1. Djokovic in the deuce court. Serving volley.
And he puts it away with aplomb. And it's 4-1.
4-1, jeez.
There we go.
Well, I have seen it, to be fair. He's been so good on this side at using the serving volley. He's barely ever serving volleyed on the other side, right? I guess the wide serve to the backhand's a bit more reliable for Medvedev.
Yeah, I think that way. I think Medvedev needs this point.
Absolutely. He's hanging in an extended rally. Good defense there when he's pulled out wide. And again, Novak kind of has him on the run. Medvedev back to neutral low with some great forehands cross court. Goes down the line. Not really grafting an advantage though. Djokovic quite willing to go into lockdown mode now, as we've seen over the years in tie breaks. Medvedev with a forehand opportunity to put away.
And he's pulled it. And it's 5-1. And that was kind of Medvedev's type of rally, right, as well, in a way.
It was, yeah. I'd say so. He gave himself the opportunity he wanted to do something with the forehand. And as we've seen, that it just doesn't give him as much of an advantage as he could give himself on the forehand every so often. And that was a bit cheap in the end.
And we're actually very close to not only Medvedev being in 3 successive third set tie breaks, but also losing all 3 as well.
Yeah, geez. Good point. It's a big knock to the third set tiebreak record for Daniil.
Yeah.
We also saw Ruud Fritz as well, right? Going to a third set tiebreak. Could we see any other ones? Not off the top of my head, anyway.
That's the only other one, I think.
Yeah, because Nadal went straight sets every time.
Yeah.
And I think Djokovic, straight sets against Rublev, and then straight sets against
Stefanos.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Easy 1-2 punch for Daniil's got an overhead to put away, but goes straight back to Novak this time though.
He's not missing
this
time. No, it's 5-2. I mean, this will be another kind of, we'll be scratching our heads at the end of this, really. How has Djokovic won this if he potentially comes through? How has he won it? And also, why has he won it?
Well, to be fair, again, Daniil serving for the match. That's a season of sort of semi-feelings, semi-wins. Getting to good positions in matches and just losing some of them. Basically, that was definitely history taking its toll there, because he just played a bunch of loose points again. Exactly the same as the Tsitsipas one. That's now 6-2. In fact, this is incredibly similar to the Tsitsipas one. Tsitsipas wins the first set 6-3. Medvedev wins the second set in a tie-break, serves for the match. Yeah. Serves for the match and then loses in a third set tie-break.
Yeah. So a lot of similarities.
One more twist in the tail, or 6-2 here. Juice, this is the side that Djokovic has been winning service points from consistently.
Yeah.
If Daniil wins this point, to be fair, 2 service holds and an ad court to work with.
That's true. And he's got a second serve here as well.
Yeah. Although it's a big ask, Djokovic very rarely with match point and failing. In fact, I don't know the last time Djokovic had match point and failed to win the match.
No.
Somebody did tell me recently. Okay, it'll come back to me, but great backhand down the line from Daniil. It's not really worked though. He's failed to take the opportunity there. Novak with some good slice defense, goes down the line with a massive backhand.
And he went. Wow. Look at that roar. Oh my God.
What is the reaction here from these two? It's just a bit, I don't know, yeah. Novak looks exhausted. Daniil with a few words to him. Djokovic holds his hands aloft in a massive celebration, fist bump to the box. he's doing some chest thumps. It's like he's won the tournament, Jamie.
I can't quite understand that reaction either. Just one moment. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, it's one of the weirdest matches I've seen in a long time. Obviously I always expect an epic between these two. The head-to-head, the rivalry's always been so fascinating. This was fascinating for different reasons. The to and fro of momentum and form and fitness, just so difficult to keep up with. Motivations all over the place. Novak somehow coming through. Really, Novak, to be honest though, came through on the back of a poor Medvedev season, because Medvedev should have won that match, really serving for it, just as he did with Tsitsipas.
God.
So he'll be gutted.
That was it was a very odd match, but as Ghibli says, it was kind of an epic, wasn't it? If there was something really riding on that, could you imagine the
I know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the stakes that make all the difference, though, right, Jamie? So it was a weird epic without the payoff, I guess.
Yeah, interesting to see Djokovic's reaction, though, as you said. I think that kind of, obviously it still kind of feels like it matters, doesn't it? Between, when you come through an epic against a big rival, no matter the stakes, it's going to mean something. Yeah.
I mean, I was saying at the start, I thought the motivation from Djokovic would be far higher than Medvedev, actually. I guess that it kind of was the case in the end. It wasn't motivation, I guess, that Medvedev was failing to draw on. It was just, some demons coming back to bite him, basically. And that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he's certainly building up some baggage now, I guess, which is quite worrying, isn't it? You know, as you say, twice now in a row he served for the match and lost, and he's also lost 3 third-set tie breaks in a row.
Yeah, I saw a few comments on Twitter saying that a win for Medvedev here would be massive going into the 2023 season, and all of a sudden a third consecutive third-set tiebreak loss in a row against one of your biggest rivals, almost from a position where you should have won the match twice in a row, almost has a negative effect, right? You go in with a knock to the confidence, I would say. So Medvedev's going to be dismayed for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got any nice plans now, Jack?
Yeah, I'm going to play tennis. Yeah,
Nice.
I've got a club champs match at 5 o'clock. So
nice.
Cool. Are you okay for another 5 minutes, and then we'll call it a day?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we'll just wait for Novak's on-court interview, and I'll relay what he has to say. But you know, it's quite difficult sometimes to keep up with things. Obviously, when I'm taking screenshots, etc., etc. I have a question. Let's start with you, Jack. Though, who's had the more demoralizing tournament and therefore needs to be more concerned come January, Rafa or Daniil?
Daniil. Definitely
Okay.
Daniil. For me, Rafa knew he didn't come into this tournament in full health, full match fitness. He probably wasn't, necessarily expecting to win matches. Still managed to notch a win over Casper Ruud. Lost to Felix, one of the best indoor hardcourt players this year. And again, keep forgetting who's the other guy that I'm forgetting about. Who did Rafa lose to the start of the week that wasn't Felix?
Taylor Fritz.
Did he lose to Fritz? Oh, yeah. So he did. So, yeah, Taylor Fritz, also one of the best indoor.
Your crown regarding tennis knowledge is slipping.
It's like, honestly, John, as soon as it's like cemented as long-term memories, I've got it. But short-term memory, oh my God, I couldn't tell you. Who won the match there. So for me, Rafa had way less to lose. It's really not as big a deal for him.
Okay, Djokovic is just talking. Daniil's not going to want to finish the season with a loss. I started off very well, had chances in the second, had some break points, but he played really well on those decisive moments. There was one rally in the second set, which was insane. Insane was my word, by the way. In the third set, to be honest, it was a struggle a lot. Staying physically there. It's a battle, it's a fight. I'm really proud of being able to find the last drop of energy in order to come back into the match. 5-4 down. He was serving for it. And I could really serve quite well at that point. And I got back in a good position. Started off really well in the tiebreak, 6 points. I lost the tiebreak in the second, so tough 3 matches for him, of course. All 3 matches lost in the third set tiebreak. He's an amazing player who I have a lot of respect for. We had a great battle. Did you contemplate pulling out today? He's being asked. He's shaking his head. No. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. If I pull out, maybe I can't play tomorrow. I don't know what the rules are. No, but I wasn't thinking about it. Against one of the greatest rivals I have, it's very important regardless. The fact that I qualified already is not important. Thanks very much. So, what do we make of some of Novak's comments? It was very interesting to hear him say he could read Daniil's serve at that crucial moment when, of course, Medvedev was serving for the match.
Yeah, the only sort of note I could add to that is, given I know statistically Daniil's struggled on his serve and on break points as well, I think Djokovic's homework in that regard and bigger points, when you're not feeling it on serve, you probably have a tendency to go for the one that you're more comfortable hitting, right? And Djokovic was quite, he was anticipatory to that. He maybe knew that he was going to be relying on that in bigger moments. Is is all I could read from that. I think Daniil's serve generally is pretty well disguised. So I think maybe just good anticipation from Djokovic there, knowing that Daniil felt the pressure.
Yeah, right. Jamie, have you got any sort of final thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I mean, what a strange match. Yeah, I mean, it was, seeing sort of Novak's reaction at the end as well. There was sort of how much it seemingly kind of meant to him was interesting. I think, sort of saying to Jack afterwards, that even when the stakes, there aren't really any sort of stakes there in a sense. There is, when two big rivals come together, I guess there always is, and it's going to be quite I think Daniil's going to be carrying quite a bit of mental baggage around now, really, after this week. So it's going to be interesting to see how he comes out at the start of next year, because I agree with Jack. It seems like a far more damaging week for Medvedev this week than Rafa and anybody else.
I mean, boy, how many punches can Daniil take? Bearing in mind, we've always talked about, 3 break points against Rafa. He's 2 sets. He's on the verge of winning the Australian Open. Back-to-back slams. The first person in history to ever do that, to win their first slam and then immediately back it up by winning the second. And, nobody would have thought at that point that he would go on to have a horrible year. I saw on Twitter, I saw some people giving him marks out of 10, 6.5, I think is what Shrihari said. Other people were suggesting 7. For me, that's extremely generous. For me, it's a 4. I mean, to be that close to winning a major, and if you said to me as well, having won the US Open, having got to the final of the ATP Tour Finals last year, that he would end the year, I think, maybe 5th or maybe even ranked lower, bearing in mind he also stumbled across world number 1 at a point. He really deserved to be world number 1 at the end of last year, beginning of this year, but he ends up becoming world number 1 on the back of a defeat to Nadal in Acapulco when Nadal crushed him. Really, he hasn't recovered since. And for me, I'm giving him a 4, because if you said to me at the beginning of the year, he's not winning a slam, he was so close to winning in Australia and should have won in Australia. His mind seemed to be frazzled during that match and hasn't recovered since. And if you said to me he's not going to get to a Masters 1000 final, he's not going to get to any more slam finals after Australia, he's not going to make the ATP Tour Finals semi-finals. In fact, he's going to lose all 3 matches, albeit very closely. I just can't think of a more disappointing year. I mean, I know he's won a 250 on grass, was also at a 250 just before the US Open as well.
Yeah, he won Los Cabos before the US Open. He didn't win that grass one. He lost.
He lost in the final to Van Rijthoven. Yeah.
And then he won the 500 in Vienna as well.
Of course,
so
yeah.
That's the only 2 titles this year, John. Yeah, the biggest the biggest showing he's had, I guess, was arguably a semi-final in Cincinnati, and that's it.
Yeah.
Since the Australian Open,
Since the Australian Open. So I mean, that's huge. That really is a weak year for him. I agree.
And it's all about expectation, isn't it? When he won the US Open at the end of last year, we would have, if you said we were probably almost talking at the end of last year about how many he's going to win this year, as opposed to is he going to win 1?
Exactly. I mean, Jamie, if you got to the semi-final in Cincinnati next year, I think we'd be giving you a 9.5 for your year. But it's about expectations, right?
It's all relative.
Exactly.
and expectations have been big. Listen, let's close though on Novak, because he's obviously won today. He's won all 3 matches. When we compare it to Daniil, Medvedev's struggles against top 10 opponents this year. I think he's not won against anyone top 10 this year, or not since Australia. I think not since Australia. He's not won, because he beat Tsitsipas there. But Novak is the opposite, pretty much. He's just won 3 matches in a row in what we described as the group of death before it started, and he was sick as well. I mean, what else can we add, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, just elaborating on that, Daniil's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 top 10 matches in a row.
Yeah,
and they've all been this year. Those 8 matches have all been this year.
Since Australia, I think.
Yeah, since Australia, exactly. Since the Rafa match. So.
But yeah, on Novak, Jack, I mean, how impressed were you both today and also this week in general?
This match was weird, obviously. Like, as I say, it's great to see him play something close to his best tennis when he's obviously, or finding something that's competitive when he's obviously not playing his best tennis, I should say, and still winning this match against a great player like Daniil. The other 2 matches were amazing, and the prior tournaments were also amazing. Holger, Rune came out of a really, really good match to beat Djokovic, playing a little under par. That seemed more like a flash in the pan than anything else. I think Djokovic is 1,000%. You know, it's about 70% Djokovic, 30% the rest of the field.
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's been great as always. It was an odd match, but I still think it was an extremely exciting one, going to a third set tiebreak. Congratulations to Novak Djokovic. He makes it now into the semi-finals, where he will play he will play
Taylor Fritz. Yeah.
Taylor Fritz. Thank you very much.
We were
Yes.
doing this today as well.
Yeah, I know. So much tennis. I think our minds have become frazzled a bit like Daniil Medvedev was in that Australian Open final. Guys, listen, thanks very much for your work today, of course. As always, it's been a pleasure. So take care. I'm going to play us out with a little promo video, as is our new style at the ever-moving, fast technology we have here. Make sure you subscribe, of course, to the channel, which is what this promo thing is about, especially as keeping in touch with us might become more difficult when a certain social media giant potentially closes down in the coming hours. Anyway, Jack, thanks very much.
No worries, John. Thank you.
Jamie, thanks very much to you as well.
Thank you. Cheers, John. Cheers, Jack.
Cheers, Jamie.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.